scoring with 21 goals and 25 assists. Courtnall returns after a bout with the flu. It's the Leafs and the Jets. Don, your thoughts?
Well, Winnipeg just cruising along, and they're all right. The Bandit, their goalie, is coming through for them, and they'll just go into the playoffs nice and rested because they're not going anywhere.
I hear Toronto played very well Thursday despite losing to Boston.
You know, really bothers me when I see guys go into the Boston Gardens like Tommy Fergus. He was absolutely the best guy on the ice, bar none, and the only reason he played well like that was because he wanted to show Harry Sinden and his old teammates how good he can play. He's been floating all year. And I'll tell you, if I was John Brophy, I'd have had him by the throat after the game. Why don't you play like that all the time? And that's the problem with the Leafs again. Too many guys like that.
Let's go to Bob Cole.
Thank you, Ron, and good evening, everybody. Welcome to the gondola position at Maple Leaf Gardens for this game. The Jets and the Leafs, the officials for this hockey game tonight. Don Koharski right there is the referee. John D'Amico and Mike Sevick will be the linesmen. And the goaltenders tonight. For Winnipeg, Daniel Berthiaume has played in 45 of the Jets' 66 games. He's Winnipeg's #1 goaltender. Ken Regan for the Leafs has played in 1 game less, but this is his 16th straight start tonight. He says he doesn't mind the pace. In fact, he says he plays a lot better when he plays a lot. And starting is Fergus Lehman and Dom Foose. Lands in Gill for the Maple Leafs. They have the puck and Gill lost it. Just 9 seconds, the Leafs losing the puck at the blue line on a bad pass, and Howard Chuck gets his 40th.
What can you say about a play like this? 9 seconds into the game, a turnover, and here's a nice pass to Howard Chuck. Regan has no chance, really, and a good pass across, and it's 1-0 after 9 seconds.
Time 9 seconds. Dale Howard Chuck.
And you're right, Regan had no chance, Scotty. A very bad start for the Maple Leafs, giving the puck up at their own blue line. Kumpel saw Howard Chuck move in quickly, and who better to give it to than Howard Chuck? What a neat hockey player he has turned out to be for the Winnipeg Jets. A superstar in the National Hockey League. 1-0 Winnipeg. They roll it in there again, and Howard Chuck is up looking after Iafrate. Iafrate's skate goal. He's nailed hard at center ice. He could not elude the check near center, and boy, did he take one.
Well, you look at Dan Maloney, runner-up in the Jack Adams Coach of the Year last year, and Dan was telling me that he feels his team this year is much better. They're going to meet Calgary or Edmonton. They do very well against Calgary. This year, 5 of the games against 7 have gone into overtime. They aren't improved. But here's Tim Waters, comes across after Iafrate had a full head of steam. Olczyk took exception to it, said a few words about it, but it's all over right now. But good check by Waters.
He moved up with the check in mind from his own blue line as he saw Iafrate skate away from everybody. He had a full head of steam, and then ran into the truck. Into the first minute of this hockey game, and already it's 1-0 Winnipeg. The Leafs 5 points of Minnesota, but remember, the North Stars have a game at hand. It's cleared in from the left side and stopped by Regan. Fans like to get on the goaltenders here a little bit at Maple Leaf Gardens. You could not fault the goaltender on that first goal by Winnipeg. Howard Chuck in there alone. Had no problem putting it in the far side.
Well, if you get a good look at, there's John D'Amico, and John Brophy this morning was very upset on the fact that they had tied Boston late in that game. He felt it was a simple 3-on-3. His 2 defensemen, Iafrate and Salmi, backed up over the line, gave the line, and Larson came in for the Bruins. And, you know, he was very pleased with the effort after losing to Quebec here on Wednesday. You'd think going into Boston, but, you know, with the 5-point lead, John's well aware that after tonight, only 4 home games for the Leafs.
Scoring goals early. Not really new for the Jets. Got one in 9 seconds tonight. The record, Doug Smale scored after just 5 seconds from the start of the game. The Leafs trying to tie it now. DeGray is pushed around a little bit. Can't hang on to it. Rooney was there to clear it out near center. Long shot in by Neufeld right at Reagan. He stopped it. Solving on the ice gives it to Inicek. Inicek is on with Daou and Semenko for the Toronto Maple Leafs. The Jets keep the puck in. And DeGray just has to roll it out and down the ice. That is Olofsson going back for it. Number 4. Coming out of the zone. Pass to Neufeld. Picked off at the line by Lehman. Lehman trying to go in. Here's the shot. Stopped by Berthiaume. Following on the play was Dom Foose. Got a good shot away. Gill and Land are the Leaf defensemen. Long lead pass by Gill. Nowhere near Dom Foose. Gill then gives it away up along the boards on the left side. McBain keeping it in. Back of the net. McBain got in front. Cleared away in time. They got it out across the line and offside now. McBain picking it up. This is Hockey Night in Canada from Toronto.
You're the keeper of the night shift in factories, plants, and mills. You're the ones who sweat while others sleep, so nothing's standing still. Nothing halfway about it. That's always been your call. It says it all.
The Montreal Canadiens got a break this afternoon from New Jersey as Boston lost in overtime, 7-6.
Big test here for your Remchuk. Bob going up against Howard-Chuck.
Remchuk is wearing number 15. Hill on the boards to Secord, the other winger on the line. Secord shoots it ahead. It hit Olczyk's stick. And back in there again, Duncan with Howard-Chuck on the move. But here's Gill. He's coming down with the Remchuk. He's speeding in there. Good play. Nearly got a shot. Berthiaume just roll the puck away with a stick. Sharp angle for the Leaf player. Remchuk looking pretty sharp. Here's Carlisle's drive. That's knocked down in front of the net, and Secord and Gill come out with Olczyk. Remchuk is catching up. Secord in. Turning around, he centered it. And Duncan will clear it out of the zone for Winnipeg. Iafrate picks it up. The Jets are making changes as the Leafs come out. Iafrate to center. Tried to go it himself. He was stopped by Marois. Cardinal, missing 4 games with a flu. Lost some weight. He's on for his first turn. Number 9 for the Maple Leafs. Jets long shot. Reagan covering on the rebound. Look out. Smale centered. Oh, it's knocked away. Reagan nearly trapped again. And he's still in trouble with the Jets failing to pick it up in front of him, though. Richardson passes out. Right wing pass is knocked down at the line with a stick high. And the play is called. Hockey Night in Canada returns in a moment.
Priority Post, Canada's largest and most competitive courier network, has joined forces with EMS, the world's most extensive courier network. The U.S., Europe, and beyond. It's all the same network. It's all the same consistent, proven reliability. Whether you ship inside Canada or out, Priority Post, EMS, Canada's world-class courier.
Bob Cole with Scotty Bowman in the booth tonight. Ron McLean and Don Cherry along with us. Howard-Chuck is scored from Kumpel at the 9-second mark. 1-0 Winnipeg. And the Jets, Olofsson at his own line, leaves it for Dave Ellett. Ellett shoots it in out of the net. It's cleared away to Dom Foose by the goaltender Reagan. Jets standing up at the blue line, intercepted the passing. Winnipeg back in there. Steen set it up. Reagan going down. Puck loose there in front of him. And Lehman takes it, but he can't clear it out of the zone. Kept in by McLean. A backhand shot on the short side, and Reagan being tested early. Here's a drive from the line that fails to get through. And 2 Leafs come to center. Dom Foose up across the line, dropped it back. Lehman from there won't shoot it. Sets it up, though. Backhand shot by Lands was weak and off the net. Waters dumped it it off the glass and down. It goes right to Regan. 1-0 Winnipeg. Dow on the ice. Tapped it on the boards. It bounced away from Carlisle and got out. Ufeld swings it back in for the Winnipeg Jets. Semenko couldn't clear. Waters takes his shot and Regan hovering up again. He is being tested early.
It's a good look at John Ferguson sitting right beside the bench in the manager's seats. He was very upset a week ago. Went into Montreal. He wanted to do very well there. They lost 6-0, and Guy Carbonneau, he was all over Howard-Chuck most of the game, and then Fergie, they went on to Buffalo and lost in there, but they've come up with 2 good wins at home against Hartford and Vancouver, and on certain nights, Fergie will put the pressure on. I saw him this morning, and he wanted a good performance here in Toronto.
Boschman is number 16 for the Winnipeg Jets against Daou. The draw goes right to Regan, so they'll do it again. You wonder, Scotty, how Winnipeg can stay up. They're in 3rd place, not likely to be caught by 4th place, and not likely to move into 2nd.
Well, Maloney, he zeroes in on those Calgary-Edmonton games fiercely like they're playoff games, and they do work on 10-game segments, but like you said, they're going nowhere, being so far ahead of the next team, and they can't catch either Calgary or Edmonton, but look for this team, especially the young defensemen, Allett and Olsson. They've really developed into 2-stand. I think that's the improvement in this club with Olsson back now after his injury.
Los Angeles at the moment in 4th place. They have a 6-point lead over Vancouver. That's likely not to change. You never know. Into the corner is Boschman. Boschman for Winnipeg, sizing it up. Rolled it in front. Gill was there to cover Rooney. And the Leafs get it out. Dow's down. Semenko waits for a pass. Goes behind him to Lands. The defenseman took a drive. Berthiaume stopped that. Semenko missed it behind the goal. Rooney over there with Carlisle. Carlisle knocked it behind the net on the other side of Waters. Canoe fell. Jets passing the puck well. Boschman coming in. Boschman waits. Dumped it in front of the net. And in a check turns with Semenko. To center. Iafrate catching up. In a check turns. He might shoot it. Hit the outside of the net and bounced on the boards, and then the Jets cleared it. Leafs have it again. Yaremchuk on there. Playing with more confidence, no question. Yaremchuk, number 15. Bad pass for him. He had to take it on his skate. And that was nearly a suicide pass. Spain centered one. Iafrate is going to draw a penalty on the play. I think it was Iafrate who will be called, interfering with the player in front of the net. He is going off.
Only from Dodge. 2 trucks for the price of 1. Compact plus full size. It's the mid-size Dodge Dakota. The fuel economy and sporty handling of a compact. The comfort, cargo space, and pulling power of a full size. 2 trucks in 1, plus 7/115 warranty protection. Mid-size Dakota from the Dodge family of Ram Tough trucks.
When the going gets tough, the tough get going tough.
It is Iafrate who got the penalty here at 6:22. It's for holding.
Well, Duncan made this possible. A good pass across and goes for the front of the net. There's Duncan, 36. Iafrate pulling him down, but he made the pass to McBain and then continued towards the front of the Leaf net.
Winnipeg's power play, 25.8%. And here's Regan tested again. Puck cleared by Salming back in the net. Howard-Chuck has it. Second hottest power play in the league. The Winnipeg Jets, they're leading 1-0 and going for more here. Passing the puck around the outside. The Leafs set up the box. DeGray intercepts it. Good play by DeGray. Kept in by Carlisle. Now it's wrapped away by Salming down the ice. DeGray and Salming go off. Lands on the ice with Gill, the defenseman. Fergus and Daou will try to kill the penalty up front for Toronto. Andy Carlisle drips a high one in on the glass. Daou was bumped by Howard-Chuck. Ellen stopped by Daou and attempt to center ice again. Howard-Chuck coming in. That's offside at the Maple Leaf blue line.
Well, I think the big change in Andrew McBain has been his insertion on this power play, and McBain has already got 18 of his 28 goals on the power play. Howard-Chuck's got another 18, and there's the stats up there, second overall, and Maloney was saying the reason that McBain has found his niche in this league, they've been patient with him. He hasn't played a game in the minor leagues. He came here in '83, but the power play worked. They were looking for a right-hand shot, and McLean goes in front, and McBain stays on the other side. It's a good one.
A minute and 9 seconds left in the Iafrate penalty. Leafs short-handed, and they're down a goal. Outshot 6-2 so far. Maple Leafs shoot it down the ice. Daniel Berthiaume in goal tonight for Winnipeg. Cleared it away. Working a lot for the Jets. Berthiaume has. Olsen comes up. Doesn't shoot it. Hangs on to it. Now he's bumped on the boards by Gill. Again, he takes it back to the line, this time to Boschman. He lost it. Ball check to Gill. Here's Osborne going in, waiting. Decides to hang on to it for a while. Still a few seconds. He's doing just that. Finds a hole. Going in. High shot on the glass. Back of the net. Berthiaume steered it away himself. 18 seconds left in the lead penalty. Dupel to the other side. Into the corner goes Steen. Knocked to the ice by DeGray, and the Leafs are going to kill this penalty. It's shot off the boards and out to center, and Iafrate is standing up, ready to come back on. He's on the ice now. Penalty over. Dupel in, can't handle it. Lehman steals it and gets away with Iafrate. Tried to give it to Lehman again. Carlisle nearly broke out. He's turned around in the center ice area. Cornell has it. Gave it away, though. Coming up to the 9-minute mark of the first period. With only 9 seconds for Howard Chuck to start the scoring. 1-0. That's it to now. Winnipeg. Good move at the line. By Kumpel. Dropped it back. Smale moving in. He is stopped by Cornell. Puck kept in by Berry. And a play call. Their penalty coming up against Winnipeg this time. Leafs will have a power play.
When business takes you away from the comforts of home, isn't it nice to know you've got all the comforts of Air Canada's executive class? To Europe, Asia, and now more business centers in North America. Executive class on Air Canada, giving business our best.
There's the man, Doug Smale. Tripping penalty here at 9:03.
Oh, the Jets missed the Smale. You'll see him right in front of the netter. He got upset. He thought that Cortnell had taken him down, and probably did. But there's the little hook by Smale, and a Winnipeg penalty killer, a good one, is in the box serving this penalty for the Jets.
Power plays in the National Hockey League. You look at 21st, and you find the Maple Leafs. They have 44 power play goals and 294 advantages.
DeGray is back, and they're looking for he to take that shot in the slot area.
Let's see what happens in this one. Yaremchuk is on the ice, but his pass was onto the stick of Howard Chuck. Howard Chuck used in the power play, in the penalty-killing situation, and, of course, his regular shift, which is probably a little more than anybody else on the team.
Well, I think that's the trend, Bob. Guys like Savard and Lemieux and Pittsburgh, Gretzky started it. Your best men have to kill penalties because there's so many of them today.
Coming out is DeGray. He's moving the puck well to center. Ripped it in kind of hard off the stick of Berthiaume, and it comes all the way out to center. Shot yet for the Maple Leafs. And Daniel Berthiaume. Secord to Gill. He's up there. Stops on the outside of the box. Set up by Winnipeg. Secord back to the net. He is stopped. Secord got it again. And it's cleared down the ice.
Well, it was a soft pass by Yaremchuk. Gill made the right play. He held on to it, but Yaremchuk's pass too slow, and the Jets intercepted.
Now Fergus coming out with Lands and Lehman on the side. Lehman ran into traffic. Carlisle flipped him, and it was cleared by Waters.
It may sound strange, Bob. I think a lot of the Leafs' woes on the power play is their inability to make that crisp, solid pass.
Lands falls. He gave it away. And so far, the Leafs coming up empty. Not a shot yet. Gill starting out. 14 seconds left in this power play. Lehman goes in. Dropped it. Now the shot for Human to make a good glove save. And he did that.
Well, I think that's how he got his nickname, the Bandit. And this young goaltender, boy, he's got a good glove hand, and he hasn't had much work tonight, but this was the first good play the Leafs have had on this power play, and it's virtually all over. Just 7 seconds left.
Berthiaume coming up with a big save on the short side. Very quick glove.
Well, when the confidence level goes down like the Leafs power play confidence has to be, you try to be careful. You want to take that little bit of extra time to make the right play. But, Bob, the passes have to be a lot quicker.
John D'Amico, the veteran linesman of the National Hockey League, winding down a great career. They say this is his last season. In a check along the boards. Back to the net. It's centered again. Dow goes for the slot, but the pass was intercepted. In a check again. Penalty is over. Leafs to the corner with it. Domfus centered it. Richardson pinching in from the blue line, but he couldn't get a good shot. Again in a check. Hangs on to it. Nice play in front. It's centered. Domfus tried to hit his man in front of the net and just missed him. Domfus now coming in, sends it up in the slot. In a check shot, tipped in front, and it's kicked away. 1-0 Winnipeg, and they move it out. Smale from center shoots it in.
Former Leaf goalie Rick St. Croix has been working very much with young Berthiaume, and they credit his improvement to St. Croix' coaching.
3 Leafs come to center. Osborne had it knocked away by Marois. He moves in for Winnipeg. Gets set. Just missed on the far side. Walked right in for a nice shot. Iafrate now takes his time. Rolled it a little too far for Dow. Down the ice it goes. It'll be icing with Brad Berry back to pick it up. 1-0. The goal by Howard-Chuck. Toronto, this is Hockey Night in Canada.
Nothing you can say can tear me away from my guy. My guy. Nothing you can do, 'cause I'm stuck like glue to my guy. My guy. I'm sticking to my guy like a stamp to the leather. Like birds of a feather, we stick together.
Molson Canadian. Taste that'll stop you cold.
My guy.
This is our update game. Edmonton is in Calgary and nothing to report yet. The first period is underway there. Second there, and the Rangers in a dogfight in their division. This afternoon, Pittsburgh. Lemieux, by the way, had 3 assists in that game. Boston losing to New Jersey in OT.
And Sean Burke got his first NHL win in that game today.
Thomas Dean is 25 on the draw and wins it. But Salming on the puck quickly. Pulls away from Gillen. He can't get it out. Off the glove of Reggett. Play called again.
Well, as to look at Reggett, he had a rough start against Quebec on Wednesday, handling the puck. Came up with a good game. There's another look at Mark Osborne, and hasn't really recovered from that injury that he suffered about 2 weeks ago. And he's had the good stats. Mark's the only plus forward, I think, that's played regularly on this Leaf club. So his offense and defense have really gelled for this team.
7 minutes and 32 seconds left. First period. Brophy's team down. 1 goal.
Well, I think Maloney would like this matchup. He's had it 2 or 3 times. Howard-Chuck against Yaremchuk. Howard-Chuck now plays, as I mentioned, with McBain and Duncan.
McBain 20, Duncan 36. And a nice glove save by Reggett. That was a good shot from the blue line. And Reggett had to be very quick to stop it. Again, Olczyk is there. Berry let that hot shot go. Nearly went in.
Well, the Leafs on Wednesday had Dow shadowing Peter Stastny most of the night. And they played Stastny so much that it took too much out of the offense for the Leafs.
Marois goes to the penalty box. Had a stick high on the last checking attempt.
Well, here's Marois. look where his stick is, and that's something we see too much of, Bob.
There's the time of the penalty, 12:41. Marois of Winnipeg, high sticking the call. And the Leafs had just the one shot on their only power play of the game so far. Here comes number 2. That is power play.
Well, I think we have to look at two things. The outlet pass, that first pass that the Leafs make, and then how is their passing in the attacking zone?
The only goals so far in this first period from Howard Chuck, couple assisted. And that was after 9 seconds of the face-off at center ice to start the game. Leafs power play. DeGray pushes it in the zone. Berthiaume out to hang on to it. And to stop him, so there'll be a face-off in the Winnipeg zone.
Well, that's what you really want. There's a look at the Leaf bench, and you want that face-off. That's one thing that the Leafs, you know, haven't had many of, face-offs in the attacking zone. So 16 seconds into the power play, now it's all hinging on this face-off.
It'll be Fergus on the draw. Osborne, Lehman, Iafrate, and DeGray. The power play for the Leafs.
Watch Boschman as well for the Jets. He gets all over that circle.
Leafs win the draw on the boards. Osborne to Iafrate to Osborne again. Osborne back to Iafrate again. The other side, DeGray shoots right away, and Berthiaume had the angle covered. He hangs onto it. So another face-off in the Winnipeg zone.
Good work there by both Carlisle and Waters. They were able to take their two men and allow it. No screen shot against Berthiaume. He saw that shot from DeGray all the way.
Shots are 8-5 for Winnipeg. And the first shot went in. 6:49 left in the period, a minute and a half in the Marois penalty. Again, Fergus winning the draw cleanly. Fergus on the board. Stops there. Carlisle is bumping him. Lehman goes around the net. Waters tries to pick it up. Osborne takes it. Not much room for him, though. Iafrate to Osborne again. Moved up the steps. Centered it. Scored! Fergus. Good pass. And the Leafs got a power play goal to tie it.
Well, this is the value of a good, quick release on the shot. And I think it really fooled the goalie, Berthiaume, for the Jets. And I don't think he was screened, but he's down there, and he didn't see it. He was watching Carlisle, but here's the pass across here, and the ensuing shot that was it happened so quickly. Fergus let it go. He's got a good wrist shot. Doesn't use it enough.
16th goal of the season for Tom Fergus. This one on a power play. Osborne and Iafrate assisting. 13:31. The time. Now we're tied at 1. Chuck comes back out with Secord and Olczyk. Howard Chuck for the Winnipeg Jets. Number 10, he scored the first goal. Duncan and McBain, the wingers, and they're in. Howard Chuck centered it. Scored! McBain from Howard Chuck. Just as quickly as that.
Quite a story on this Andrew McBain, and we see where this scoring touch all of a sudden came this year. And watch McBain, who goes to the front of the net, and he sees the legs open. He just rolls it through Regett's legs rather than try to take a power shot. But Howard Chuck, once again, Bob, right there, Howard Chuck, he puts it where McBain wants it. Secord can't get back, and the opening's between the legs, but Regett had to go across.
16:42, the time of the goal, just 11 seconds after the Leafs tied it. The Jets have the lead again, 2-1. McBain from Howard Chuck and Duncan at 13:42. Todd Gill now for Toronto. Secord missed the pass at the line. Lands moved up and shoots it from center into the corner. Secord in court checking vigorously against Marois. He does that well. Al Secord. 2-1 Winnipeg as Olczyk to the hole. Set it up. And the break through center. Neepel coming up. Taken away by Regett. Richardson's pass. Leafs move up again. Chuck down the wing. Ran into trouble there and couldn't go in. Jets move it down. Half the line. Boschman was nailed. It's Satter's score again. Rooney this time was alone in front of Raggett. This has the makings of a long evening.
Well, this is really poor defensive coverage, and the two young defensemen are here. And watch as in front of the net, the puck comes right out there, and he should have been tied up. I think Richardson was trying to get back on Rooney, but here's the play here. Iafrate allows Neufeld, I think it was, to throw it in front, but Neufeld outsped Iafrate, and that's hard to believe, throws it across.
Laurie Bosch, time 14:37. Steve Rooney from Ray Neufeld and Laurie Bosch, time 14:37.
And it's 3-1 Winnipeg. 14:47, the official time. Leafs come in. Quick shot by McKenna, nearly cuffed the far corner. There'll be a lot of goals in this one tonight, Scotty.
Well, they've had a lot of chances. This team looks like they're flying tonight.
That's Waters playing it ahead. Knocked down by Courtnall. Osborne pushes Tappan away. And McLean comes back. Hook it out. Down the ice. Reggett will come out. Gray goes back there. 4.5 minutes left of the period. 3-1 Winnipeg as Lehman is in with a drive. He had Berthiaume going the wrong way, and he just missed the net with a shot. Back in for Smale, who dropped it. Pass back in front by Wilson. Back to the line, Marois. Shoots it ahead. Wilson is trapped there at the side of the net by Todd Gill. Wilson missed it a second time. Gill comes over. Wilson chased him. And the Leafs get it out of the zone and down the ice again. This is going to be icing against Toronto. Quick goals here in the period. The Jets lead 3-1.
Want to go to university? These Canadian university students are getting a degree, a salary, and that important first job, all funded by the Canadian Armed Forces. Want a degree in the future? We're under recruiting in the Yellow Pages. It's your choice, your future.
Our Hockey Night in Canada update game is from the Olympic Saddle Dome in Calgary, where the Flames open the scoring on a rebound. John Tonelli scores his 14th on the season. He has 11 points in his last 8 games. The power play goal makes it 1-0 Flames.
The Flames are home, and Scotty, they're hot.
You got 9 out of 15 at home counting tonight, so the big game for both teams. If the Oilers don't get this one, it's going to be tough to finish first.
Richardson for the Maple Leafs. Head to Secord, pass through center ice. Remchuk is flying in there, gets a shot away. Berthiaume stopped it. At the line is Richardson. He passed to Remchuk, and he just missed. Lifting the puck to the far corner and just missed. Flipped away by Dave Ellett. 3:20 left in the period. Near center is McBain. He got it ahead. Olsen is stopped. And the play is called. High sticking call against the Maple Leafs. Richardson.
For those who don't know, there's trouble. But for those who do know, there's no trouble. The Esso No Trouble gasoline now reduces gas line freeze-up and in cold, damp weather reduces stalling and rough idling.
Want to lift again, Mr. Bill?
Now you know.
Hold on tight.
Luke Richardson of the Maple Leafs draws a high sticking penalty here at 16:45 with 3:15 left in the period. This could break it open for sure in the first period.
Well, there's the replay, and the Leaf bench was all over Koharski, especially the coach, John Brophy, but he called it. It looked like his stick was up there, but I don't know if it made contact, and Koharski spent more time yelling back and forth with Brophy, but Jets going on the power play with their 3-1 lead.
Howard Chuck first, Fergus tied it, then McBain and Rooney. 3-1, and another power play now. side is McBain. Carlisle with Ellett. Into the side, Howardchuk. Back to the other side. Carlisle's drive. Rickett stopped at the rebound. It's in the net. It got to the goal line and apparently just across it. Rickett ripped it out with his hand, but it was called in. Too late.
Well,
just watch.
Watch these guys in front, and McLean, that's where he likes to stand. Howardchuk and McLean both come in there, and I think the puck was over the line by McLean. Howardchuk, just for good measure, put it at the back of the net, but there's a shot from Carlisle. But, you know, too much openings in front of that goal. And where's the other Leaf defenseman? You can't find him. Finally, you see him come in there. DeGray was the other one to come in late.
Time 17:03.
17:03, a power play goal for Winnipeg. McLean, Carlisle, and Howardchuk in on another one. 4-1, Jets. Wilson tapped it to center. Smale couldn't center it. Secord going back into the corner, and Yaremchuk starts away. His pass under the skate of old Czech. Secord again dropped it back. It was deflected right to Reggett. And the play call. Now let's go to Ron McLean for this Hockey Night in Canada update.
Bob, the Oilers have drawn even in Calgary. Gretzky with a feather pass. The Oilers on the power play. It's across to Craig Simpson. Only Lemieux and Yzerman have scored more than Simpson. His 46th squares it at 1.
Great year for Simpson and Gretzky in on the scoring play. The first one of the night for Edmonton, and we'll keep you posted. Lemieux had 3 assists this afternoon. Leads Gretzky by 18 now, I think it is. 14 games left.
This is that speedy line that Wilson and Smale Kumpel line caused a lot of problems for the Leafs tonight.
Maple Leafs coming out to center. Yaremchuk on a lot, skating a lot, and going in on this rush. But he's stopped in there by Ellett. Jets move it up to center ice. Kumpel decides to shoot it in as they want to make changes. 2 minutes left in the period. Bland starting away. Pass ahead. And that's offside. McKenna faked the shot. And Courtnall had gone in. Now again, let's go to Ron McLean for another Hockey Night in Canada update.
It is beginning to open up at the Saddle Dome. The Flames in the Oilers' territory. The original shot by Trillis blocked by Fuhr, but Lanny McDonald is there for the rebound. And McDonald gets the goal. It's now 2-1, Calgary leading late in the first.
1:54 left in the first period here, and it's 4-1 for Winnipeg. There's the score. Shots are 14-7. So they have been storming the Maple Leafs in this first period. Richardson around the net. Starts the clearing play. It's off the boards to Russ Courtnall. Courtnall moving to the line and across it. Stops. Center, a good chance. Hard shot by Iafrate. He missed the net. And the Jets dump it out and down the ice.
Well, a 9-second goal by Trottier is not a record, or by Howardchuk's not a record. Brian Trottier 4 years ago scored 5 seconds into a game, Islanders versus Boston.
With 1:23 left in this period, Dan Maloney has got to be very satisfied the way his team is playing, but it's a tough time for him when he's really waiting for the playoffs.
A week ago, they played without Smale and Rooney and Waters back from the Olympic team, but I like the look of their defense, especially those 2 youngsters, Olsen and Ellett. You know this team is going to play well in its own end, Bob, the way Maloney coaches.
I'll tell you something, Scotty. If Calgary manages to hang on and finish first, they don't want to meet Winnipeg. Whatever it is,
not a good matchup for them.
I don't know why one team should have the number of another team, but it happens. Look at Toronto and Detroit.
Toronto, Minnesota.
Final minute. Iafrate tried one from outside the blue line. The Peg Jets comfortable 4-1 lead in this opening 20 minutes. Iafrate taking his time going back there. Nearly cost him. Reggett had to come out and push it away. Richardson hitting McLean hard and nailing him to the ice. Hard check by Luke Richardson. Fergus went in, but so did Lehman, except Lehman was in ahead of him and offside.
McLean is really looking around and wondering what really hit him, and he's going after his helmet was knocked off in that exchange.
He had scored at 17:03 on a Winnipeg power play from Carlisle and Howard Chuck. Watch Richardson along the boards.
Well, this is the kind of hits you want to see in your own defensive zone. I thought the Jets, they're a quick team, and they've been allowed to skate freewheeling in the Leafs' end. But there's a look at Paul McLean, and you know he's been taken off the Howard Chuck line. He's still scored his 30th goal tonight, and McBain's now got 29. So that's been a good offensive move for Winnipeg.
Maple Leafs shoot it in with just 25 seconds left of the period. Marwah played it to the other side. Leafs keep it in. A long shot is scooped up by Berthiaume. Leafs thought maybe a penalty would have been called as the Leaf player was tripped just inside the line. Play continued on, and the shot was in on the net.
Boy, Marwah's wondering what it's got into Secord, because Secord's given him a pretty tough time here tonight. That's the second time he went right into the goal crease after that rebound. And they've been matching up Marwah most of the time against this Secord line.
Al Secord has been named another alternate captain for the Maple Leafs. Fergus is the other.
Well, there's a statistic that would bother if you're a Leaf fan. Winnipeg's won 8 of 9 faceoffs in the Leafs' end zone.
17 seconds left in the period. But I'm not sure that scoring resulted from the face-off situation in the zone. It's just that the Jets have been breaking in there, and there's always a man open in front of the net. Good clean shots at the Leaf goal. They've had 4 of them go by record. 5 seconds left in the period now. The Jets shoot it in there again. Offside with 3 seconds left. A formality now. They'll drop it in just outside the blue line, and the shots will go down in this first period, 14-8 for Winnipeg.
Well, a year ago, this club led the league in killing off penalties. Now they're right near the top in the power play department with their 94th goal tonight, and the 99 goal record is held by both Pittsburgh and Quebec, so that'll be broken either by this team and probably also by the Rangers.
Howard Chuck, Fergus, McBain, and Rooney, the goal scorers in the period. Shots, as I said, 14-8 Winnipeg. And coming up next, inside hockey, Alan Eagleson will be here, and so will Don Cherry in the coach's corner. And the score at the end of the first period, Winnipeg 4, the Maple Leafs 1.
Now is the time to purchase your RRSP from Holiday Ford. RRSP, Ranger's right smartly priced. The Ranger S suddenly $84.74. Or how about the Ranger S Plus only $88.74? And the Ranger Custom with long wheelbase suddenly $99.74. RRSP, Ranger's right smartly priced. The choice is yours, but hurry. At these prices, our Rangers will go faster than ever. RRSP, Ranger's right smartly priced. Holiday Ford, Lansdowne Street West at Spilsbury.
It's the big event. We've got deals, real big deals. Come on down. You'll see it's just another burger sale. How about something different? Something with lots of taste. A mouth-watering, slow-roasted, regular Arby's roast beef sandwich. Now, how about all that for only 99 cents? Another burger deal? Big deal. Taste the Arby's difference for only 99 cents. Now, that's a deal.
That's right, only 99 cents, but hurry. At that price, everybody will want to taste the Arby's difference.
The legend lives on, from the smallest and lightest when you're out looking for the big ones to the biggest and fastest when you're out for fun. Mercury outperforms the competition in technology, engineering, features, dependability, and corrosion protection. Check Mercury's exclusive fish line cutter, CD ignition, and oil injection. Get the maximum performance from every drop of fuel. The legend lives on at Paris Marine, Highway 28, 2 kilometers south of Lakefield.
Paris Marine, the family voting center.
At Lockwood, our testers have very high standards. Their job is to make sure our windows and entrance systems have been thoroughly tested before they go out. All our products go through rigorous Canadian climate testing. We have to be positive that each component of our product measures up, from the standard double-glazed window to the maintenance-free lockout finish. And when we finish testing, we test them again at an independent laboratory. Lockwood, tried, tested, and true.
The Winnipeg Jets scored 9 seconds after the opening face-off, and again 9 seconds after a Toronto goal. They added 2 more and now lead the Leafs by a score of 4-1 at the end of one. Brian McFarland got together with Al Eagleson to talk hockey this week. First on the agenda was the Olympics. In the opinion of Eagleson, fans' unrealistic expectations figured in their disappointment.
The Izvestia tournament win of 3-2 could have been a 9-1 or 9-2 loss, except for Sean Burke. That game was dominated by the Soviets. They outshot us 38-16 or 17 in the third period. We got the puck out of our end 3 times. People didn't know that. They only saw the score. And Sean Burke came up with as amazing a game of hockey as any goaltender ever has in any game, anywhere.
Alan, some people expected a lot more help for the Olympic team from the NHL, and they didn't think they got it.
And we were very happy with the NHL help. We couldn't expect, after getting NHL help for the Canada Cup, to ask all the NHL clubs to shut down. ABC had their chance. I went to them and told them in '84 that the Olympics in '88 would be open. They didn't seem to believe me. And I told them if they made a deal then, well in advance, with the National Hockey League, they could probably make some trade-off financially and close the NHL down for a 2-week period. That didn't work. And then suddenly, a year before the Olympics, they said, can we get that deal going now? It was far too late. From the team's perspective, though, the addition of Tambellini, Waters, and Poplinski was very positive. They melded in well. We had told the players well in advance that we're going to bring in 3 to 5 players just before the Olympics.
What can we do for 1992 to get a stronger hockey club?
If each Canadian club protected 5 or 6 or 7 players and then said, Mr. Hockey Canada, you may choose now 1 player off the roster, take him from September until February 28th, and send us back a better hockey player. And I'm sure that's what would happen.
When are we going to see some Soviet players in the NHL?
Well, with the Soviets, it's like everything else. From the Players Association perspective, my job is not to entice them. My job is simply to say that from our point of view, we welcome the best hockey players. Because if we put up rigid lines of prevention, the next thing that will happen, the U.S. government will say, fine, if it's that rigid, we don't want Canadians. So from our perspective, all I say is we're open for business to the best players in the world. If the Soviets are serious, they should tell the NHL right away, here are the players that we think are capable of playing in your league and who will play. But I've talked to Fetisov and Kasatonov. As much as they're excited about the possibilities, as is Larionov, they are not too hopeful of it all happening, and they're not too certain that they'd want to come. It would mean disruption for their families. They're married and have children. They don't want to be the lone person out here in a sea of American humanity with an anti-Soviet feeling. So it's a long way from happening. I think the possibility's there, and I think there will be 1 or 2 Soviets in the league next year, but I'm doubtful that it will include their top players.
Coming up, Don Cherry's in the coach's corner when our first intermission continues after this message.
Jerry, please, talk to me.
Give me a golden.
I know you're in there, Jerry.
Nice friend you got there.
Hi, guys. I'm the Golden Genie. Make a wish.
Please, turn Jerry back to normal.
Oh, all right.
Jerry!
Where am I?
Yeah. Where am I?
Smooth Cold Age Golden. It's all you could wish for in a beer.
I wish I could see that again.
Okay.
Smooth Cold Age Golden. It's all you could wish for in a beer.
I think the name Caterpillar on a machine tells you it's top quality. But I was surprised at just how good and reasonably priced this backhoe loader is. It's one of a new line of Cat backhoes with an available 3-year powertrain warranty. Right now, they're giving 7.9% financing. And just for getting a quote on this baby, you'll get a chance to win this special General Motors pickup. Go see your cat dealer. You could be a winner.
We couldn't have done all this without a great selection of tools. Right. That's why we went to Home Hardware. All their benchmark tools are guaranteed. And they've got lots of state-of-the-art cordless tools, like this drill.
It's a sander, Dad.
Just testing. Anyway, today we're having a barbecue for our dealer and anyone else who helped bring home all these cordless tools.
In a big way.
Honey, could you get some more steaks out of the freezer?
Chasing rainbows. The chase begins tomorrow.
Alan Eagleson's done just about everything in the NHL and international arenas and probably represents Don Cherry, the money he makes. He's a good friend of yours. Your comments?
He did. He made me 135 grand Colorado. So he'll never retire. He loves this stuff. He's watching now. He loves being on Hockey Night in Canada.
One of the big stories in hockey this week involved the Detroit Red Wings. A cruel blow for the Wings. Stevie Yzerman, their captain, goes down with a knee injury. Both of us saw, a lot of people actually saw it, of course, via highlights. But what a tough blow. Is Detroit dead by virtue of this?
They will not be the same without that guy, especially the playoffs. He was the guy that's going to pop them in the overtime. You know, I saw the thing. You know, those magnets are all right. I like them. Don't get me wrong. But when you go in from the side like he did, they don't pop off quite the same. And, you know, in the old days, it used to be the goalies like Barrasso would have saved them. But the guys are flying in there now because they know those nets come off. I'll guarantee you, if that was 10 years ago, there was no way that he'd cut in like that. But they know they pop off, and they tried it. It's a shame because they're going to miss that guy.
One thing that was somewhat curious, nobody really took exception to the defenseman who carried him into the post, in essence, trying to cut him down as he swept to the net.
Well, what is he supposed to do? He's supposed to let him go in. Even Jacques would say if Jacques had a defenseman let one of the stars walk in because he didn't want to get hurt in the point post, that'd be too bad. I mean, you got to take him out like that. It's just too bad. It was Stevie. Good little guy, too.
Great goalies have struggled in the month of February. Grant Fuhrer had the worst goals against average of any regular in the month of February.
So did Hextall, and I told you cannot go long. Glenn tried. What's that other guy's name? The other backup goalie?
Darryl Ray, Warren Skorodensky.
That's the guy. I can't say that. Tried him. He got bombed in the first period. They had to throw Fuhrer back in there. What happens is the guys are not, they're not tired physically, but they put on that equipment, all that equipment. They got to go out there. They're not sharp. They got to have a rest. Nobody can play 75, 80 games anymore.
Trade deadline is Tuesday. What are teams looking for, and who might get something?
Well, everybody's looking for an experienced defenseman, but where are you going to find them? Andy Moog, he's the guy that everybody's after, but I know Glenn Sather. He's got a gun cocked, and everybody's running to him now. He just might let him sit.
Well, the nets aren't popping off as easily, but in this edition of the Coach's Corner, Don, as he always does so well, does. Hockey Night in Canada returns in just a moment.
Sure, I'm hard to please. That's why I went to a Jeep Eagle dealer. And I'll tell you, I'm glad I did, for a lot of reasons.
One reason is the 1988 Eagle Premier, the car with European sophistication and handling, with more people room and more horsepower than Chevy Celebrity or Pontiac 6000. And it's only at your Jeep Eagle dealer.
You go to a dealer hoping for the best. There, you can expect it.
Expect the best from your Ontario Jeep Eagle dealers.
We know how you love shrimp.
A great deal of shrimp. Whoa, what a deal.
Even kids love shrimp.
Shrimp.
Did we say shrimp? Just checking.
We know how you love shrimp.
Shrimp Festival, only at Red Lobster, for the seafood lover in you.
Out of school, out of work, under 25 and want to work, and every door seems closed to you? Futures can open those doors. With help to get a job and pay you for up to 52 weeks of on-the-job training. Call Futures, 1-800-387-0777. If you commit to your future, Ontario will commit to you.
Enjoy extra sugar-free gum.
You get extra flavor.
extra sugar-free gum with NutraSweet won't promote tooth decay and gives you extra refreshing flavor that lasts an extra, extra, extra long time.
Extra flavor for that extra long play. Extra flavor for that extra long day. When you chew it extra, the extra fresh flavor lasts an extra, extra, extra long time.
Sugar-free extra lasts extra long.
Here is a brief look at games underway this evening on our Hockey Night in Canada scoreboard. The Flames lead the Oilers 2-1 heading to the second period at the Saddle Dome. Minnesota, on the strength of 2 power play goals, leads Chicago in the first. Detroit and St. Louis tied 1-1 in period 1, and the New York Rangers and Hartford also tied. They're scoreless in the second. It's the Jets 4, the Toronto Maple Leafs 1 after 20 minutes. Live on CBC, this is Hockey Night in Canada.
Mercury Sable, shaped by the wind and featuring a 3.0-liter V6 engine with electronic fuel injection, front-wheel drive, and 4-wheel independent suspension. And when you purchase the extra value package that includes electronic AM/FM stereo cassette with premium sound system and power lock group, you'll receive air conditioning at no extra cost. Mercury Sable, out of the ordinary, but not out of range.
It's provincial bonus time, and there are 500 instant provincial bonuses worth $5,000 each. Yeah, that's the ticket. Just think, 500 of you could buy 500 spiffy new wardrobes. Nice suit. Or all 500 of you could go to a health spa. Woo! Imagine 500 families could build swimming pools for the backyard. Hi there. So get into the swim. Between February 27th and April 1st, everybody can play the provincial. The provincial bonus draw. It's 500 chances at $5,000.
If you want to give allergy symptoms, like weepy eyes, a runny nose, and sneezing the dust off, take Seldane. If you want fast-acting relief of allergy symptoms like sneezing and weepy eyes that let you stay alert, take Seldane.
Oh, is my throat parched? An icy cold Molson Light. I've been saving this thirst all day. First cold snap. Bye-bye thirst. Molson Light tastes just right.
The Soviets are after world gold. Can Canada's Olympic medalists beat them to it? World Figure Skating. The championships start March 23rd.
Saturday on Hockey Night in Canada, the Montreal Canadiens host Hartford. In Toronto, it's the Leafs and the Chicago Blackhawks, while the Vancouver Canucks are at home to the Edmonton Oilers.
We're waiting for the second period to start. Here's how the first period started.
Well, watch this turnover. The puck ends up. Fergus gets it back here, and he throws it back to what he thought was a defenseman. Nobody was there. Here's Kumpel racing for the net is Howardchuk. He just taps it in for a 9-second goal at the beginning of the first period.
And then Fergus tied it up, as you see, at 13:31. McMain made it 2-1 for Winnipeg at 13:42. Rooney from Neufeld and Boschman at 14:47, 3-1. If that wasn't enough, McLean scored a power play goal for the Jets to make it 4-1 from Carlisle and Howardchuk at 17:03. Shots 14-8. Winnipeg.
Well, those last 3 goals coming in 3 minutes and 21 seconds to get the Leafs down 3 goals starting this second, Bob. They're going to have to play a lot better in their own end, but naturally with down 3 goals, they have to play a lot better in the Winnipeg end.
You might think that the Leafs would have to open up, but it's early in a hockey game to be thinking about opening up. The next goal is the big one if you're a Toronto Maple Leaf fan. If it's for the Leafs, you're back in it, so to speak. If it's for Winnipeg, well, it's almost good night. 4-1 now. The Jets lead. Second period. Starting out is Smale. In with Wilson. Offside was Wilson over there in the far wing.
Well, there's been a change here with the Jets not playing the Howardchuk line out against the Olczyk and Secord line, and I think Osborne was out there for the Leafs. And I don't know if that's a change, if Osborne's going to stay with Olczyk and Secord, but I thought Yaremchuk in the first period showed a little more speed than most of the Leafs, and this is a quick Winnipeg team if you're not playing the man.
Chuck there now with Duncan and McBain. Farwell and Barry are the two defensemen for Winnipeg. Fergus coming out with Dumfries and Lehman for Toronto. Knocked across the line into the corner, and Brad Barry back around the net. Dumfries rushing back to pick up his man Duncan. Barry carries it all the way, and then Salming picks it off the boards. Played it ahead. Lehman coming out to center ice. Lehman going in there, faked the shot, nearly got through. Marois was in front of the net and steered away. Duncan for Winnipeg. Up ahead is Howard-Chuck. Can't get the pass though. Bounces right in the crease. Breggett seeing Howard-Chuck coming in. Jumped on it, held it.
Boy, what a stretch this guy's had. And you know, I think it's only 8 games this year that he hasn't got a point. Only once in his career has he missed 100 points. He's over 100 again this year. And you know, the most underrated player in the league, they often wonder about him, and hasn't missed an all-star game. And the Jets, you know, Bob, when you look at what the rest of the team has done, he just about got twice as many points as any other Winnipeg player.
A goal and 2 assists in this hockey game already. Iafrate stopped near center ice. Again, Iafrate kicked it loose. But the Jets are on it in a hurry. Coming in front of the net. But McKenna got there, and there's going to be a penalty against the Toronto Maple Leafs on that last play. From Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto, this is Hockey Night in Canada on CBC.
We know how you love shrimp. A great deal of shrimp. Whoa, what a deal. Even kids love shrimp.
Shrimp, 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 shrimp. Did we say shrimp? Just checking.
We know how you love shrimp.
Shrimp Festival, only at Red Lobster, for the seafood lover in you.
Rick Lands gets it. It's a tripping penalty here at 127.
Well, Olofsson then moved up on the attack, and I think we see the penalty here, though. That was the pass he made across, and Land stuck his leg out. I know it was Duncan that went down, and now the Jets get that good power play again.
There's McBain, 20, and Howard-Chuck 10 in on the faceoff against Yaremchuk, who got it back cleanly toward the line, and a weak shot in for Breggett. Salming takes over, fires one on the boards and down the ice. Jets already have a power play goal today on 2 advantages. Here they come again. They're leading 4-1. Rattled in on the glass by Carlisle. Flipped into the corner by Paul McLean. Back to the line. Ellison shot, rebound, knocked away. Breggett is down, and the Leafs pick it up in front of him. Yaremchuk comes out. Stick handles away from 2 people. Rolled it back to Salming. Salming fires it down the ice again.
The last Jets power play, the shoot-in, Carlisle shot it in. 4 Winnipeg players ended up on the same side as the puck was shot in, and they recovered it.
Again, it's Carlisle. Again, Carlisle shoots it into the same spot. But Osborne is there for the Maple Leafs. He's trapped right away. Olczyk ties up his man, allowing DeGray to move out. DeGray coming in there. DeGray breaks for the net. He's hit too far. And then runs into the boards by Ellett. It's center goal. And DeGray nearly had a loose puck in front of Berthiaume. And the goaltender hangs on to it. And they got a little too close to the goaltender. And the Jets take exception to that. Little pushing and shoving. Referee hollering instructions to let's break it up. And now I think they've settled down. So let's go to Ron McLean for this Hockey Night in Canada update.
Bob, the Edmonton Oilers also have a fight on their hands this evening. The Calgary Flames explode early in the second period. First, the shot by Churlap. Joe Nieuwendyk is there for the rebound, and The Rookie of the Year, it appears, with his 46th goal. Then Mike Bullard scores for the Flames. He takes the pass from Hoken Lou, fakes a pass to Nieuwendyk and shoots, and that shot beats Fuhr. It's now 4-1, Calgary.
So they're steaming. Out there, the Calgary Flames are, and the Jets are here. Some penalties on that last skirmish. Carlisle for roughing, Osborne for roughing. Here, 2:44. The Jets with that man advantage. 40 seconds left in the penalty to Lands. Olsen comes to center, shoots it in. To the corner, around the Leaf net. Comes this side for Steen. Back to the blue line. Olsen gives it off to Marois. He was stopped by Fergus, and he gets it out. 20 seconds left in the penalty to Lands. Olsen back. Coming away for Winnipeg. Starting out with Boschman on the move to the right side. He shoots it in. Reagan tipped it. Cleared back to the goal by Neufeld. Fergus is on the puck. Out with Lehman. Fergus lugs it to center. The penalty is over. Lands is on the ice. Leafs it. Full strength again. And the Jets come out with it. Olsen carrying the puck a lot for the Winnipeg Jets.
Played right wing in the playoffs last year, and boy, they missed him when he was injured from October on, but he's back, and really back right now.
This is Lehman. Lehman went in, so Fergus had to hang on. But then Salming brought it in, and the Leafs were offside. Live on CBC, Hockey Night in Canada.
Nothing goes down as fast as a Canadian. Molson Canadian, proud sponsor of the men's national ski teams.
Hockey Night in Canada is delighted to salute Tracy Wilson, and you too, Rob McCall, Canadian bronze medalists at the Olympics. There they are here watching the Leafs tonight. We're trailing the Winnipeg Jets 4-1.
You know how much practice those people have put in to get where they got to.
Berthiaume knocks one down, long shot. DeGray dumped it off in front of the net. Cornell got a stick on it, then a skate, a stick again, and a weak shot. Gray stops just outside the line. Handle the puck well. Get it back in. Leading to Winnipeg Jets. Ellen starting out, bumped by McKenna. Puck stopped near center, but given away by Courtnall. Here's Smale. Just missed the far side. Jets jump on the loose puck every time. Now Salming is on one. Coming in with McKenna shooting. Nice save by Berthiaume. Into the corner. Ellen. Leafs change. Seacourt on the ice. Bumped his man, but Wilson takes over at center. Couldn't go by Gill. Smale does. Dropped it back. Wilson is tied up by Seacourt. Lands around the net. Got away from a check. Got the puck out. 5 minutes gone, second period. Jets in control, leading by 3 goals. Berthiaume said 10 shots to handle so far in the game. This is Boschman. Back to Waters. Oh, what a glove save by Reggett. Boy, that's a fast hand by Ken Reggett. That one should have gone in.
Well, you saw the outnumbered situation. It was a 2-on-1, but then after the pass back, we'll see here, Boschman spotted Waters, threw it across, and he was looking to get it back. And Reagan made the good save after Waters elected to shoot high. Started to be a 2-on-1 that ended up to be a 3-on-2 because Waters jumped right up there. You can't handle 3 guys.
That is very quick, especially when you see it from that angle. The angle from which Ken Reggett viewed the situation. Boy, did he get that hand up quickly.
That was Toe Blake's great line that when his team used to practice an hour and a half, he said, stop complaining, guys. Figure skaters practice 6 hours a day.
And more. Todd Gill Whipped into the corner on the other side. It does not get out. Neufeld is on it. Slapped it in behind the net. Rooney given a bump on the boards by Lands. He lost the stick. But all the way out across the blue line. Carlisle could keep the puck in. Leafs move up. Damphousse racing in against Waters. He got in front. Berthiaume just knocked it away. There's Fergus. And a shot by Gill hit the goal post. Fergus now. Leafs trying hard to get one here. They need one badly. They're trailing 4-1 at the 6-minute mark of the second period. The Jets relieving the pressure. Shoot it down the ice. That was Rooney and Gill back to pick it up. So, in fact, it is icing against Winnipeg, and they'll make changes.
When you have headache pain, there's one thing you want most, effective relief, and you want relief fast. The kind you get with aspirin. Medical evidence proves it. Aspirin gives you effective relief. And for many people, aspirin brings relief in minutes.
I feel great now, and aspirin did it.
When you have headache pain, today's aspirin gives you what you want most, effective relief, and you get relief fast.
This is Bob Cole in Maple Leaf Gardens with Scotty Bowman, Ron McLean, and Don Cherry. Well, the Winnipeg Jets have built a 4-1 lead over the Toronto Maple Leafs tonight. The second period coming up to the 7-minute mark as Secord tries to dig it off the boards. It goes to Iafrate at the blue line. His weak shot off the net. Jets get it out. Center ice, Howard Chuck. And a nice play up to the line, and now trails. McBain going in. Comes to Willett. It's deflected in front of the net, and Richardson is away with it quickly. Out to Osborne. He has to shoot it from center with Howard Chuck all over him. On that side is Olafson. Can't move it out along the boards over there. So it comes this way, and Richardson stopped it. Comes right to Allen. Up to Howard Chuck. He knifed it away. Iafrate slapped it across center. Old Chuck coming in. Drives it. And he did not miss by much. Duncan is back down for Winnipeg. McBain is up with him. McBain in front. Reg it out of the net. Was steered away. Cardinal speeding up now. Tried to split the defense. Cardinal going to the corner. Bumped with Marois. And the puck comes loose. Jets can't move it out. Cardinal winds up. Can't shoot it. His pass hopped over the stick of Damphousse. And the Jets shoot it in. Andrew McBain on the play. Cardinal in front of the net. Lost it. Covering was DeGray. And the Leafs had to just clear it out. And satisfied with that. Back in again. Gillis dropped it back, and it comes in front. Jets are on a move again. McLean steered it to the far corner. Leafs, a pile on the boards. That's Damphousse. He can't find it. Quick shot right at Regan from McLean. Not a hard one. Leafs again. Stymie trying to clear it. They shoot it off the stick. Gray got it out finally, but it's back in again. Gray missed it. Gillen went in. Tried to center it. Gillen again. Hangs on to it. Nearly jammed it in off Breguet's stick, let me tell you. It hit Breguet's stick. Nearly went in. Goaltender kept it out. Skate on the post.
It's back. And it's under $10,000. The special edition Mazda SE5. Loaded with features the others charge extra for. Like white spoker wheels, rear step bumper, sport striping, cloth seating, oversized sport mirrors, and more. Plus, the best warranty in the business. Catch one at your Mazda dealers. SE5. At this price, it's going fast.
This is the Mazda way.
Okay, they're set to go with a face-off coming up to the right of Ken Regan, as you see. And that is Wilson, 24, for the Winnipeg Jets. Smale, number 9, is to his left. Kumpel, the right winger in the line. Carlisle and Waters, the defenseman. The Leafs have Gill back there with Lance. They exchange passes. Lance lost it. Carlisle in on Lehman. Stopped him from moving. Fergus and Secord are the other forwards for Toronto. Waters has
Hustles back. Took a hit from Secord as he played it out. Kumpel turns with Smale on the right wing. Coming in, Wilson trailing, shoots. Reagan covered the angle, holds it, and no further play.
The Jets are really going after this Leaf defense in their own end. They've really tried to not sit back. They've been conscious of it. They're going with the 4 lines most of the time, which is forcing Brophy to play his 4th line. It's coming out there now. He's got out there with Semenko and McKenna.
They have not been out much. What with penalties and what have you in the first period.
And they put Osborne in between Olczyk and Secord, knowing the way that Howard-Chuck, in these wide open games, Bob, this is the type of game that Howard-Chuck's been looking for, and he got 3 points already and been awfully dangerous.
Washman is on now with Neufeld and Rooney for Winnipeg. Now with Semenko and McKenna. That's Semenko. Couldn't get it out. Neufeld's weak shot. Scoop into Reagan, really. Neufeld in there for checking against Iafrate. He centered it. Washman just missed it. 3 Leafs come out. The defenseman leads the rush. McKenna takes Richardson's pass, but it was offside.
Brophy thought McKenna played his best game as a Leaf in Boston on Thursday. They came to play that game. Unfortunately, it seems that everything happens, and with just a little over 2 minutes to go, what looked like might get a point out of the game ended up in a big win for the Bruins. And McKenna coming over here in that Allison deal. And I don't know if Sean McKenna is ever going to find the range as a goal scorer. He'll have to become a defensive specialist. And I think that's what the Leafs have in mind for him right now, trying to get some checking on that right side.
Bradbury, 29. Gets the puck up across the line of center. Iafrate spinning away from one check and comes in with it. And another. Trying to center it. Stopped by Howard-Chuck. Osborne had it dropped back, filling the hole vacated by Iafrate. Jets in control again. McBean slapped it into the corner. Iafrate back there. Hooked it over to Secord. He shoots it down the ice. It misses the net. Olczyk is in the hole, and he touched it, so no icing. Good hustle by Olczyk. Jets roll the puck across the line. Howard-Chuck there, stopped by Secord. Offside. Toronto Maple Leafs. Olczyk was trapped inside the line as Secord brought it in, so offside.
In all the frozen and faraway places, at all the lonely hours, day or night, there's a Tony Thompson striving to push a black puck on white ice toward the goal. Esso retailers are involved in hockey from beginners to Olympians for all the Tonys and Michaels and Lindas. Because service to the community doesn't stop at the gas pump.
They're coming up to the halfway mark of this second period. And you see the Jets are in control of this hockey game with a 3-goal lead. You'd have to say, Scotty, the Leafs, to get back in it, really have to get the next one.
Well, you have to know you're up against a pretty good defensive club, but Winnipeg's pursuing the puck very well.
Solming, the other player in the Maple Leafs wearing the A on the sweater, fell. Cornell went up after it, but Berthiaume scooped it up, and he held onto it. Lots of stuff around the league tonight, and this is a biggie out west, our update game. Calgary commanding lead over the Oilers, second period. And Leaf fans will be watching this one in the second. Minnesota with the game in hand, trailing the Leafs by 5 points. St. Louis over Detroit, Les Yzerman 2-1. And the Rangers in a dogfight to make the playoffs, leading in the third period. We'll keep you posted on that one. That's another biggie. Into the corner and back to the net. The Leafs try to hook it in front. That's Inachek going to the ice down. Boos went after it, and the play was called.
Well, there's a former Leaf, Randy Carlyle, drafted in 1976, and then after going to Pittsburgh, really found a home in Winnipeg, and they paid a dear price for him. They traded their number 1 draft pick to be Doug Bodger and Mo Mantha, but they feel that Carlisle has been the experience, along with Marois, for those young defensemen like Ellett, who's come along so well lately. Ellett's been a standout for this club.
Carlisle loves to work, does he not?
He needs a lot of work, although Maloney uses 6 defensemen. He'll go down to 4 when it's tight.
Gray picks off the pass at his own blue line and brings it right back in there. Good rush by DeGray. Centered it. It went by in a jack. And the Jets cover up and get it out. That's Gillen moving it to the right side. McLean with him. Here's the drive right in front. Reagan down. And he stopped it in time. It was rolling for the goal line.
Well, like you mentioned, the outnumbered situations weren't there. It wasn't a result of the Jets scoring 4 goals in the first period, but we've seen so much tonight. There was a good chance where that extra man coming in for the Jets is mostly one of their defensemen, and we keep calling Olsen's name, and this is a routine play. McLean spots. Olsen comes in here. He gets a real good chance. When you get that far out, but you can crank it up, you're about 30 feet. There's DeGray trying to get back after Domfus had been playing defense.
Have had just 3 shots in the second period. 23-11 now, Winnipeg.
Big hit in the face-offs the first period. The Jets were 12 out of 15 in the both end zones, which is a big number. You shouldn't have that many of an advantage.
Gill going against the flow, flipped it up. It comes right back in front of the net. Lands dumped it ahead. Scoring couldn't handle it. Smale back in, drives in, stopped at the defense. Lehman comes to center ice with Fergus. Fergus fell on his own. Smale comes to center. Pass in on the wing. Lincoln had to cover with that shot from the right side. Berry charges in at center, score! Nobody in front watching Smale, and he had an easy shot along the ice. And now it's 5-1 Winnipeg.
Well, it was a 2-on-2 originally. The Leafs defense backed up. You keep your that's a defenseman again that makes the play to Kumpel, and he throws it right out to Smale, and Regan, before he can even move, he one-times it off the pass here from Kumpel. That's Kumpel behind the net. That's the second play set up, and they're going to pass right here, and before Regan can even touch it, it's behind them. But it started with the Leaf defense having to back up. I thought they backed up a little too quickly on the ensuing 2-on-2 rush.
Berry also got an assist along with Kumpel. Smale the goal, his 13th, and 11:22. 5-1 now. Winnipeg coming back out again. Boschman plays it from center, comes in the slot, and I am afraid he got back. Very much room to move, but McKenna picks up the pass. He's knocked to the ice by Carlisle. Now went up after it, couldn't find it. And again, it's Rooney back in. Long shot left by Regan. Hangs on to it now with 2 Jets coming in very quickly. Live on CBC, Hockey Night in Canada.
You can't miss with the silver bullet cruising light. The right light. You can't miss with the silver bullet. The flavor is mellow, the taste is light. Oh, you just can't miss with the bullet tonight. You can't miss Coors Light. The right light. The silver bullet. You just can't miss with the bullet tonight.
Well, there's Dan Maloney and John Brophy, and Maloney knows what it's like to stand behind that Leaf bench, having coached here, but he's a much better coach since he's gone to Winnipeg. Dan really watches the matchups now. When he was the Leaf coach, of course, he came pretty well from the playing ranks.
Jets are on the move again. Shot just misses. Ellett keeps it in. Howard Chuck centered it. Secord can't find it. Now they get it across the line. Olczyk is stopped, however. Duncan fired it back in on the right side. Olczyk was there and he had to hurry it to get it out. It went on the net. That's why you hear the fans cheer. That's the Leafs' 4th shot in this period. And only only 7:20 left in the period. Winnipeg leads 5-1. Leafs shoot it in. Olczyk goes behind the net, battles away, fell to the ice, can't get away from Olsson, who covered him. Olczyk in front of the net, stopped again, and the Jets get it out. Pass by McBain into Duncan and back to him. McBain coming in. Duncan is in on the net, and he falls along with Neil deGray, and the Leafs shoot it out.
You see who was on the other side all alone, Howard Chuck, if that pass would have got there.
Here's a break. McLean trying to go in. And a dandy goal. Paul McLean makes it 6-1. He was all alone.
Well, it wasn't a good line change, and I think it was McBain had gone to the bench, and McLean just come off the bench, and there was the puck, and he was down on about his knees before he decided to get it up high. And here it is now again where he falls down here, and as he's falling, he just flips it up over the glove of Reggett. Boy, by now Reggett is pretty well shell-shocked.
Howard Chuck, I thought, tipped the puck near center ice. In fact, he did, and gets another point. So he assists on this goal, along with Marois, and the time was 13:16. McLean's 31st of the season. Here's Gill shooting a hard one high. That'll rattle off the glass and go all the way back to the lead line. 6-1 Winnipeg. Inicek couldn't find it. This game almost now out of reach for the Maple Leafs. Barry backhands it up across the line. That's Gillen coming in. He's dumped it off to the corner. 6 minutes left. Inicek starts back out with Dom Foose in there. Dom Foose to the net, and he lost control of it. He was trying to shift on Berthiaume. Now Smale racing in for Winnipeg. Wilson takes his pass, and his shot stopped by Reggett on the short side. Easy save for him. Carlisle drips one from the blue line. Nobody could touch it in front. Wilson tried to tip it. Iafrate shoots it over there for Richardson. And now Iafrate for Dom Foose. And the Leafs just content to get it out of the zone now. Down 5 goals. Dom Foose will have to turn. Jets keep coming though. Look at this. Right in front again. And Reggett looks around for it. The whistle goes on the far side. Dom Foose was hurt. And he is hobbling off to the Leaf bench. Shaken up along the boards, and you see Dom Foose makes it barely to the box.
Marvin Stickmore was in charge of free fancy frills for Toyota trucks. Marvin's job was easy because Toyota doesn't give away many free frills. Toyota doesn't have to. One day Marvin Stickmore stuck more free frills on some of his trucks than he should have, up to $850 in free options. Which brings us to this very special value sale on a limited quantity of 4x2 and 4x4 Toyota trucks. But you better hurry, because Marvin's not in charge of free frills anymore.
Give you an idea of the pace of the game set by the Winnipeg Jets. Look at the shots. 31-11. And the Jets have 6 by Reggett. The Leafs have 1 by Dan Berthiaume.
Pretty easy night for this goalie for the Jets, but a week ago it was 6-0 Montreal, so the Jets have turned it around in less than 7 days.
Salming backhands it ahead for Osborne. Salming chasing the puck to center. Still after it is Salming. Got across the line to center it, but there in front was Steve Rooney. And the Jets all back there, come out again, all organized. Boschman tried to go in, upended. Salming bumped him, and he's going to draw a penalty on the play. Salming gets called for tripping Boschman. And he does not like it.
So much room for the Jets as they get over the line, and it was Boschman that was going in to the corner, and Salming just upended him. Here it is right again where he just about got by him. The puck was going in the corner. This is a foolish call, and he got his stick. I think Salming put his stick there and tried to draw it back. Nevertheless, Boschman made it easy for Koharski. He went down in another power play. Just what the Leafs really don't need at this point.
Salming for tripping. 15-18, the time of the penalty. So 4:42 left in the period. 30-11 shots. And on this power play, you can be certain there will be more shots. Ken Regan to contend with.
Well, Dan Maloney's showing a little mercy. He hasn't got his number 1 power play unit out there. He's got Boschman and Steen and Neufeld, who they don't play very much on the power play, these 3 guys.
It'll be Boschman who'll try to win the draw from Fergus. Cannot do it. Fergus sharp on the face-off. Lehman is going to shoot it down the ice. And Berthiaume goes back to the net to stop it for Olesen. Marois, the other defenseman, to his right. Olesen, though, likes to carry. He's been doing it all game. Comes to center, shoots it in. That will send the Jets in after it. Boschman on the boards, picks it up. Behind the net it goes. Neufeld is in front of the net. The pass doesn't get to him. It's ripped away, but not out. Jets keep the heat on. Here's Marois, shot from the blue line block. Leaks a chance for Lehman to race in. Marois had some steam up and got back there. Finally, he goes to the ice. Fergus after it. Took away by Olesen. Fergus fell on it. Now Steen will bring it out for Winnipeg. Minute left in the power play. Boschman moving up. Lifts a high one in. Richardson back. And a shot at Regan yet on this power play. And only 50 seconds left now. Ellett from the blue line. Gets in good position, but hands it off to Carlisle. Back to him. Again, Ellett waits at the line. Now takes a shot. It's stopped by Regan. And Fergus gets it out. Comes to center, trying to roll it into McKenna, who's in behind the defenseman. Neat play to center ice. It's McLean going in, but he gave it to Daoud. He shoots it away.
There's Dave Ellett. His dad, Bob Ellett, once played for Don Cherry in Rochester.
Here's Howard Chuck getting it in front. They score. McLean from Howard Chuck. A perfect setup again. And a power play goal for the Winnipeg Jets. Gives them a 7-1 lead.
Well, their passing has been pinpoint. Here's Howard Chuck. He just spots McLean coming in the slot area. They've one-timed about 3 or 4 goals. And there's the shot behind Regan after the nice little dump pass that you're allowed to be able to hit this one right as soon as you get it. There's the shot from Paul McLean. And boy, what a night for Howard Chuck. They've honored Howard Chuck about a week ago, Bob, in Cornwall. They retired his jersey number 10. Dale Howardchuk being on 2 Memorial Cup winners with the Cornwall Royals, but it was a big night. He's having a big night here tonight.
Well, this second period is winding down, and the third is going to be a long one for the Maple Leafs. It's 7-1 now, and the Jets don't show any sign at all of letting up. McLean, a power play goal, his 32nd of the season. Howardchuk and Ellett assisted, and the time was 17:02. Old check for the Maple Leafs with Secord. Shot blocked, but Secord got the rebound on the net. Berthiaume stopped it. Here's Osborne keeping it in. Osborne with Secord. And Old check again. They're offside on that rush. This program is copyright and is strictly for the private use of our audience. Any reproduction, retransmission, distribution, or exhibition in whole or in part without the express written consent of the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation is strictly prohibited. Ed Olczyk going to the lead bench.
While he's having the big numbers for himself, I'm sure he'd love to trade in a few of these goals and points. He's having his best season by quite a bit, and I think Olczyk came here wondering what it's going to be like, although he always wanted to be a Maple Leaf. He'd like to have it a little bit better than it is right now.
They'll be getting married in August. Will settle down in Toronto. 2 minutes left in the period. 7-1, Winnipeg. Ellett shoots it from center ice. That is Lambs back in there for it. Gill tapped it away, can't get it out. Wilson got it in front. Smale nailed it right on Regan. He just turned and fired. And nearly made it 8. Here's Talent coming up. Couldn't scoop it in front. John Foose stopped immediately by Wilson. Cortnell turning out of the zone. A pass to the line. Here's Hinachak. Just scooped it across the line. Cortnell was covered. Lands. Long shot missing. And it's Smale coming back down the ice for the Winnipeg Jets. Wilson is with them. Wilson and Smale head off to the bench. Maple Leafs stymied here in the second. Stymied in the first. And the Jets looking very, very good.
Well, you got that extreme confidence that comes with wins, and they had 2 against Hartford and Vancouver, and they really dominated this game.
Biggest cheer from the crowd on the announcement. 1 minute left in the period. 45 seconds now. Lehman tapped up the puck. Fed a pass down the ice. Osborne racing in. Carlisle checked him. Puck off to the corner to Fergus. He's checked by Waters. Lehman has to race to the far side. Steen is there watching him. Steen nearly got away. Richardson kept it in. Near the line. Turns. Now had it knocked off his stick by Steen. Iafrate stopped it near center. Poked it back in. Iafrate couldn't beat Carlisle. The veteran knocked the puck back. Fergus from the line. Oh, that just dribbled wide to the far post. 5 seconds left in the period. Salming poked at it. Comes to the line, and the horn goes to end the period. The shots in the period, Scotty, were 19-4 for Winnipeg, and a scrap started right at the horn. Lehman and Waters want to go at it, but they get them apart. Howard Chuck tonight having another biggie, a goal and 4 assists. 5 points so far.
Well, you know, John Ferguson was so upset with his club a week ago. I understand he spent all Monday here with the Leafs trying to pry Cortnell out of them, but boy, his team has bounced back, and tonight, complete domination, 2 power play goals, led by Howard Chuck. You know, the leadership they need.
Ken Yaremchuk, the Olympian, is back in uniform for the Maple Leafs, and he'll be here now in our second intermission to talk with Ron. The score at the end, and then at 17:02, a power play goal for the Jets. McLean again is 30 seconds from Howard Chuck and Ellen. Howard Chuck has a goal and 4 assists in his hockey game. 5 points tonight. Third period underway. And the Winnipeg Jets in complete control of the hockey game, leading 7-1, go in again. Score again. A drive and Reggett. After 13 seconds of the face-off at center ice. And a good drive it was, too. And it's now 8-1. Watch Kumpel unload this one.
Well, Kumpel, he just shoots it from about 30 feet out and blows it right between the legs of Reggett after 13 seconds into this period. And boy, Kumpel's having quite a night for himself. That's his 3rd point.
13 seconds, the time of the goal. Kumpel from Berry. 8-1 Winnipeg. Here they come again. They can pitch this out. And it's tough on a goaltender. Bad enough to be scored upon, but the fans now get on Ken Reggett.
Well, that's sometimes when you really want to make the changes because things are not going to get better. Every shot he saves, they're going to, you know, give him that mock cheer.
Olchak trying to work it in for the Maple Leafs. Yaremchuk in the corner. Held in on the boards. Richardson will stop it over here. Roll it in front. It just dribbled wide. Again, Yaremchuk. Passed it in through the slot. It hit a skate. Richardson in there trying to dig it in front. Richardson does center it. But Smale is there for Winnipeg. Giving it to Kumpel again. He's going to shoot it. Why not? And Reggett got the right pad on it. Remchuk to Secord. Back to Olchak. He is stopped. Olchak again takes over near center. He is going in there looking for help. Now centers it. It's tipped in wide of the net. And the Jets clear it out. Across the line to center. Olofsson going up there. Sweeping it away was Salming. It got outside the line. The Jets brought it in then, and offside.
Well, I think when you see the way this Jets offense is rolling, their defense is being a big part of their team. You have guys like Carlisle and Elliott, we know, are offensive-minded. Now you've got a fellow like Olsen who's been able to, he made a great rush there, just faked McKenna deep in his own end zone, and we're going to have a look here at the Jets bench, and there's John Ferguson. Boy, he was incensed after their loss in Buffalo Sunday night. As I mentioned earlier, he's still looking for another skilled player, but I think acquiring Rooney from Montreal, a little bit of speed and size, and now Kumpel, he's got the makings. If he can come up with one more quality forward, a little better than the average.
Talking to John today, and you know, he feels like many people around the National Hockey League feel this year it is indeed up for grabs. You get hot, you get your goaltender hot, who knows? Going to be a great playoff coming up. Another 4 weeks, and we're just about into the playoff. Give a day or two. Winnipeg leading 8-1 and intercepting a pass near center. Duncan flipped it in. And DeGray comes back out to Fergus. Fergus near center, flipped it in from there. In attack, went after it, but he was stopped along the boards. And they hold it there. Carlisle goes in and makes sure it stays. But Secord, or rather Dom Foose, strong arms the puck away and cleared it out. Marois hit Dom Foose with it. The Jets on it again. Steen going up, dropping a pass. Cleared in back of the net, right out of the goal. There's McLean on it. He left it. Gillen tried to dig it out. Couldn't make a play in front of the net, and it's cleared to center ice again. A quiet crowd here now at Maple Leaf Gardens. Their team, the Maple Leafs, are down 7 goals. 8-1 the score here in the third period. That's the 3-minute mark. Now then, Todd Gill starts to play, and here's Gill picking it up off the boards and going in. Gill had it swept away by Olsen. He's played a strong game for Winnipeg tonight back there, number 4. It's centered, but right onto the stick of McLean again. McLean with 2 goals tonight, hands it off, goes in front. Semenko foul, and it's McLean trying to get a third. Regan stopped and scrambling to get back up, and the play was called. The net off the Magnets. From Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto, this is Hockey Night in Canada on CBC.
Sure, I'm hard to please. That's why I went to a Jeep Eagle dealer. And I'll tell you, I'm glad I did, for a lot of reasons.
One reason is the 1988 Eagle Premier, the car with European sophistication and handling, with more people room and more horsepower than Chevy Celebrity or Pontiac 6000. And it's only at your Jeep Eagle dealer.
You go to a dealer hoping for the best. There, you can expect it.
Expect the best from your Ontario Jeep Eagle dealers.
Paul McLean will not be happy with me. Looking for his third, I say. He's got that. He nearly had his 4th. Source with a hat trick tonight. 1 in the first, along with his 2 goals in the second. 8-1 Winnipeg.
That's no way to treat a Maritimer, is it, Bob?
Oh, not very kind. McKenna had one kicked out by Berthiaume. And the Jets back up. Dropped by Rooney. McKenna intercepted and gave it away. Rooney knocked it back. Boschman was on there with him. There's Boschman. And here again is Rooney. Dropped it to Boschman. Rebound. Boschman had a good chance. But Regan stood up to him. Osborne's rink wide pass is intercepted by Carlisle. Steps back in over the line. The Jets making changes as they shoot the puck in there. Osborne through the middle of Iafrate. Dump to center. Lehman stopped. And Waters just fires it in. Here comes Wilson. Tapped it back to the net. Smale tried to turn around to jam it in, and Regan was alert that time to stop it. Wilson again centered it. It hit Smale. He's without his stick. Kick the pass to Wilson. Wilson gets in the slot. He's tied up. And it missed Waters' stick. Fergus moving up on it. In there quickly. Drop back with Wilson on it. Turning and coming in. Smale couldn't go by DeGray. He shoots it back down the ice. Icing waved off.
These are crowd was yelling. Waters put his stick on the Leaf, Fergus's stick, and they were able to come up with a loose puck.
Kumpel dumped it away to center. Olchek stopped it there. Kumpel has scored the only goal of the third period so far. But the Jets are showing signs of getting more. There's his shot by Duncan, stopped. Secord back out for Toronto. Secord driving in there. Can't find room. Score! A nice tip in by Olchek. Olchek didn't know it. He scored the goal. It went high off the crossbar and in. Some of the Jets said no, it did not go in.
Well, Koharski's going to make a ruling here. He's talking with D'Amico. The light did go on right away.
Goal judge looks very confident. He has done the right thing. It went up and hit the crossbar, no question. Then it bounced to the left. And from our angle, it looked like it was in fact in. We'll soon see. We'll get a couple of shots of it for you.
He's calling no goal.
It looks like.
I think he wants to talk. He can often talk to the goal judge, and that's probably what he's doing right now.
That's exactly what he's doing now. This is the new system. And there's the goal judge now telling the referee Koharski what he thought he saw as he turned the red light on.
Looks like Koharski's telling him what he saw, but the goal judge is starting to talk right now.
Now Koharski was behind the play a little bit. You'll see him catch up now when we look at it again. So you at home have a look.
Well, Olchuk, he just lets it deflect off his stick after the pass across from Secord. We'll get a look at it, and Olchuk, he wasn't sure where it went. And here's the puck. It dropped right down.
It went up off the crossbar, then when it went across, it hit the pipe on the other side. Let's watch again. Off one side. And then comes across and behind Berthiaume, but off the post, and as you say, Scotty, straight down. Hard to tell. But
I think D'Amico was the linesman that was up with the play, so he's also talking with Salming. And one thing I've been impressed tonight with this Jets team has been their speed, their team speed, and people wonder how do they match up with the Flames, probably in that area. And the Jets may be a little better defensively than Calgary, although they won't score as many goals as they are tonight.
what has impressed me about this Winnipeg team tonight is not only their passing, but once they drive the puck in, they're in very quickly, as you point out, Scotty, their speed, but their forechecking ability has kept the Leafs in a terrible situation inside their own blue line.
Well, even after the last goal to make it 8-1, Reggins had to make 4 good saves in the first 5 minutes of this third period.
So, with 14:23 left, it's still 8-1 Winnipeg. They have this one wrapped up. It's only a matter now of how much.
That's right. I mean, for the Leafs to get right back into it, they've got to play some solid hockey the rest of the way, or else the next game you're wondering about what's going to happen.
And the next game for Toronto will be out of here. They go on the road for a couple. On Tuesday, they're in St. Louis, and Wednesday in Chicago. Winnipeg does not have an easy week coming up. Edmonton will be in there Monday. And then Wednesday, they'll greet the Calgary Flames. We're shooting for first overall. 14 minutes left, third period. McLean, soft pass for Steen, back to McLean, and behind him, McLean centered it with a hat trick tonight and just pounded the puck in front of Reagan. Gill saw Courtnall come in, drives it right at Berthiaume. Great speed by Courtnall on that rush, though.
But Berthiaume was out and McKenna was going to the net, Bob. That one had to go across if you really want to be sure of scoring a goal.
McLean takes the pass and moves in. McLean stops there for a moment, hangs on to it in the corner. McLean tied up by Gill. McKenna goes over to kick it loose. McLean is a big, strong winger. He still fights for it and comes up with it. Puts it in on Reagan. Steen stopped by McKenna. Now lands to the blue line. Courtnall just did get away from McLean's check. Yaremchuk on the ice and picks up the puck for Toronto. The Jets were changing. Yaremchuk flipped it in from center ice, got around Waters, One in there. Old check on the other side. And it's taken away by Neufeld. Long shot. Comes right to Secord. Secord's pass is stopped, but Richardson following up for Yaremchuk, and he lost it. Rooney dropped it back. Waters out to center ice with it. Rooney again. Coming up with Neufeld and Boschman. Boschman's pass onto the stick of Yaremchuk, and he flipped the high one to center ice. Secord going in to steal it. Carlisle tied him up. Waters back of the net against Ed Olczyk. Richardson pitching in. Secord centered it. Yaremchuk was in front, but Boschman intercepted the pass. Out to center, and Richardson there. To the other side, Iafrate trying to do it himself. Got in there, might do it himself. He's right in, but couldn't get a shot in too far. Again, Yaremchuk with Carlisle holding it with a skate. Yaremchuk got it loose. Domfus is stopped, and Boschman to center ice. Again, they want to change.
Well, you know, Bob, in 80-81 season, this Jets team won 9 hockey games, but who was coming in the draft that year? Dale Hawerchuk. Boy, that's been the difference in this club.
And that, of course, was a tremendous pick for the Winnipeg Jets.
Winning's easy. Give 110%, expect 110%. From yourself, everyone, everything. Speed Stick deodorant gives 110%. That's its edge. Why? It has no alcohol, and alcohol evaporates. Speed Stick protection doesn't evaporate even after 24 hours. Glides on dry in just a few strokes. That's 110% protection.
Speed Stick deodorant, the wide stick.
That's your edge.
Back in the Saddle Dome, the Oilers and the Flames now in the third period. And the Oilers, Wayne Gretzky collects his third assist of the game as he centers. Well, there you go. Tough for Vernon to see, too. Craig Simpson's 47th, and now 4-3. The Flames leading in the third.
So that one, our update game, tightened up, and thanks, Ron, for the report. Ron McLean will be watching that throughout this third period. He'll be watching this action here with the Winnipeg Jets coasting along with an 8-1 lead over the Toronto Maple Leafs. We'll try to keep you up to date on the out-of-towns, especially the North Stars and Chicago. North Stars lead 2-1. They have a game in hand over the Maple Leafs. Trail the Leafs by 5 points for that last playoff spot in the Norris division. It looked healthy a day or two ago, but it isn't so healthy now.
In Hartford, that's a final score, 3-1 over New York Rangers.
Up for Smale, doing a trick or two. Got it in front. That would have been a dandy had Wilson connected on the pass by Smale. From his stick to his skate, back to his stick, and in front of the net. Salming flipped it away in front of the goal. Domfus brings it out for Toronto. Lehman is up with it. Domfus dropped it. Fergus is in there. Fergus couldn't get a shot through. Now it's centered. Gill is on the puck. Wilson is on Gill. Fergus can't find it, and Smale there again. It's been on for a while, so he'll go to the bench now as he flips the pass into Olsen, who is hit on the play. Not hard, mind you. On the other side, Duncan left it behind the net. Hawerchuk there again to center it. Shot from the slot area by Marois. Nearly got through. There's a penalty coming up. That's all the Leafs need now. Trailing by 7 goals. They get a penalty here.
Supporting the dream. The bond between athlete and coach is like a partnership. Well, he might be the coach, but believe me, he skates every race.
At 3M, we understand Olympic dreams don't happen alone. When you buy official 3M or Scotch brand products, 3M will make a contribution to Olympic coaching.
Sometimes it's like a second parent. I know he won't always be my coach, but he'll always influence my life. Supporting the dream.
3M, supporting the dream.
Calgary Flames respond to the goal by Craig Simpson and reestablish their 2-goal lead. Håkan Loob carries into Oilers territory and drops to Gary Suter. He gets his 14th on the year, and it's now the Flames leading the Oilers 5-3.
Okay, Ron, and look at the Leaf penalty now.
Well, this is Ragged. He just picks up his stick and trips the Jet winger. I think it was Kumpel going in the corner. Another power play. Now they got their #1 unit. And boy, if you watch this power play, McLean will stand in front. Howard Chuck takes the off wing on one side and McBain on the other, and they'll try to work Ellett. And he's made the biggest improvement in this hockey club as far as getting on the power play, Bob. What he tries to do now is hit the net rather than try to put it through the net, and it's been a big difference in their power play.
Dave Ellett in scoring is 7th among defensemen with 56 points in the National Hockey League. Jets are 2 for 4 in the power play tonight. Here they go, McLean to Howard Chuck, center to McLean. McLean falls, made a play though to McBain. He was covered and the Leafs get it down the ice. 9:40 left in the third. 8-1 in the third for Winnipeg. And a minute and a half left in the power play as we move it out. McBain lost it to Dow, who ran smack into the referee for Harsky.
That's the kind of luck the Leafs are having.
Carlisle fired it ahead. Howard Chuck comes in, gets the zone, falls. Play continues, and the puck rolls across the line. Ellett now from center ice. Carlisle to McLean to McBain. McBain on an angle, won't shoot from there. He's covered now. McLean into the corner with it. Now Howard Chuck, he lost it. And DeGray out for the Maple Leafs. Up to center, now with him. He hangs on to it. Gets the line, goes in on Ellett. He and Ellett bump again. Few words, that's it though. And now 40 seconds left of the power play for Winnipeg. Carlisle steers it away to Steen. He hops up over the line with Neufeld in front. Neufeld has to go to the corner. Fergus has it. Olchek is up there. Marwell back. Olchek in. And stopped by Berthiaume. Pretty good moves by Ed Olchek, though.
Berthiaume, he was right out on the crease area, making the angle just about nothing.
Olesen to Marois. Didn't shoot it. Put it into Howard. Chuck scores! What a shot. Circle the net. Look for the 2 or 3 inches Regan gave him. And that's where the puck goes.
Well, you'll see the patience of a goal scorer, also of an experienced defenseman like Marois, who rather than just gun it at the net, held it up. Here's Howard Chuck behind the net. He'll come out in front. He sees nobody's near him. Nobody even making a little bit of an extra effort. There's Fergus and Gill there. And Howard Chuck, he's allowed to put it right where he wants it. Here's the play right from behind the net. Nobody's going to get it from here. Boy, right off.
That's a pure goal scorer right there. Second goal tonight. Howard Chuck from Marois and Olesen, 11:55. Another power play goal for Winnipeg. 9-1 is the score. Regan gloves a high one, knocked it away himself. Cornell got as far as center, then had to circle back. Now gives it away. Neufeld decides to wait. Boschman steps in, and the play goes offside. Hockey Night in Canada returns in a moment.
Jerry, please talk to me.
Give me a golden.
I knew you were in there, Jerry.
Nice friend you got there.
Hi, guys. I'm the Golden Genie. Make a wish.
Please, turn Jerry back to normal.
Oh, all right.
Jerry!
Where am I?
Yeah. Where am I?
Smooth Cold Age Golden. It's all you could wish for in a beer.
I wish I could see that again.
Okay.
Smooth Cold Age Golden. It's all you could wish for in a beer.
That's our update game, and we'll keep you posted. Calgary pulling ahead by 2 goals now in the third. This is one that the Leafs have to watch. Minnesota hanging on to a 1-goal lead over Chicago, yet to play the third. Detroit doing all right, rebounding with a 4-3 lead over St. Louis in the third. And that one a final. Hartford, a big game for Hartford. Not such good news for the Rangers.
Well, Howard Chuck, he's in his 7th season. It's the 5th time he's reached the 40-goal mark. And, you know, when you look at the way this guy scores goals, boy, it's amazing. Once he scored 50, only his lowest total has been 37 goals.
He has 2 goals in this hockey game to go along with 4 assists. Big night. Smale in there now. Great spot. Shot. Knocked down in front. I think it shaft of the Winnipeg player's stick and hit him along the face area, and he's going to go. He seems to be all right. Tonight's game is coming to you from Toronto.
Looking for an award-winning quality performance? The beautiful, dramatic Ford Taurus sets the stage with sensational value. Purchase the Taurus L with electronic AM/FM stereo cassette, premium sound system, power door locks, tilt steering wheel, and stylish wheel covers, and you get air conditioning at no extra cost. Get into true character. Put the show on the road in style at a price that will move you like never before.
There's the Leaf player, Dan Daou, and a high-sticking penalty it is.
Well, in the upper left corner, we'll see here where Daou, right there, he's got the stick up as he's checking Ellett, and he'll go in. It's the penalty right there. But Dave Ellett, boy, he's really onto a tear as well. And
another power play now for Winnipeg. Reagan looking for it, and he finds it in time. Boschman was bumped by DeGray right in front of Reagan. There were 2 or 3 Winnipeg players trying to jam it in.
They've really taken the liberties with the Toronto defense not being very close to Reagan. Well, there's somebody that has a souvenir. I don't think she'll want to remember the score, but she's got her puck anyways.
Winnipeg threatening to go to double figures. They lead 9-1, have a power play again. 48-16 are the shots on goal. At the blue line, Olesen. Along the boards, left it to Boschman. Back in front, leaves dump it down the ice. Berthiaume out. They handle it for Marois. Marois behind the goal. Olesen turns, swings away, and comes out with Neufeld. Missed him with the pass. However, Neufeld knocked it away from Lehman. Turns away from Fergus. Gives it to Steen on the right side. Steen up over the line, dropped it to Boschman. Boschman in a step or two. Looks back to the blue line. Can't go there now. Fergus had his man Marois covered. However, it gets to Marois. In the slot. Shot missed. Score! Boschman drives her home. And in fact, it's into the double figures. 10-1. Winnipeg.
Well, another power play goal, and Boschman was even surprised that he was allowed to tee this one up from the off wing, a spot that Howardchuk usually plays. And here's the shot that misses the net. The puck comes right out, and Boschman is there. Nobody close to him, but on the angle. And this was the shot. I think it was actually Neufeld that took the initial shot. And look, here's Boschman. He'll put it right through Salming and Reagan. Boy, you got a lot on it for a guy that you don't rank as a goal scorer, but he's now got 25 goals.
Boschman got the goal. Another power play effort. Successful by Winnipeg. Neufeld and Marois assisted. 13:54, the time of the goal. 10-1 now, Winnipeg. Lands over there, stopping it with a skate. Yaremchuk trying to knock it loose. Still playable. And now it comes loose. The referee just standing on this side says, let her go. And they move it. Winnipeg out with it. That's Steen carrying. Got up to the line and then lost it. And Yaremchuk turns to go the other way against Carlisle. Yaremchuk going in, driving snow as he put on the brakes. Olczyk centered it. Yaremchuk ripped it right up the net. Berthiaume stopped that. And I think another penalty coming up. Yes, indeed. It's against Winnipeg.
10 years ago, Radio Shack sold its first personal computer. Today, over 3 million computers later, we begin our second decade offering the latest technology at affordable prices. This month, save hundreds of dollars on these Tandy 1000 computers. The OneDrive 1000 SX, the 8286-based 1000 TX, and the 1000 HX with built-in operating system. Come and touch technology at Tandy Computer Centers and Radio Shack stores.
Tim Waters has the penalty for hooking here at 14:44.
Just after the shot that came from his ex-teammate Yaremchuk, Waters was really, I think he was all over Olczyk right beside the crease. There's the shot from Yaremchuk, and Leafs get a chance in the power play. Like you said, there's a little bit of good news, Bob, for the Maple Leafs. You may as well give it.
Yep, Chicago has tied the game against Minnesota. They're 2 apiece now. Gill will get a shot. Almost planned on it. Wilson comes out of the zone to center. Boy, the fans are getting on them now. Gill trying to find it in front of the net. Picks it up on the boards and comes out to Fergus. He's up with Lehman, who takes the pass and goes in. Smale, though, was on it. Got the puck back out and down the ice.
2 of the better penalty killers in the league, Smale and Wilson. They come at you. No backing up with these 2 guys.
On there now as Lands comes out with Iafrate dumping one into the corner. Berthiaume out of the net, scooped it away, but here's Iafrate getting a shot. It's a nice glove save by Berthiaume.
I guess how they got the nickname Bandit. I guess we've seen it a couple of times tonight, but he's had a pretty easy night, Daniel Berthiaume, and he'll get most of the work. They sent Pokey Reddick down to play a little more. He hasn't been playing much, and he got a win last night for Moncton, and I think from this Jets point of view, they got Penny as a backup, but Berthiaume, they're going to get him ready for the playoffs.
5 has tied the game for Chicago against Minnesota. Winnipeg doing just fine here tonight over Toronto, 10-1.
You know, Bob,
without Jim Kite and Peter Taglianetti.
Looking ahead, only Montreal at 627% and Calgary 638 are the only 2 teams that could reach that 625%, which would mean 100 points in the season. It hasn't happened for 20 years that the overall leader did not get 20 points. 100 points, rather.
Jets dump it down the ice. 1 minute left in the Winnipeg penalty. The Leafs have a 1 goal to show for their effort tonight. Here's Cordnell trying to make it 2, going in on this power play. Ahead to Dom Foose, who couldn't center it. Olsen around the net. He'll clear it out, no problem. Got it to center and rolled it in.
Well, they've used him on right wing. We saw tonight you've called Olsen most of the night as one of the top defensemen on this club.
Played well. Not many of the Winnipeg defensemen have not played well tonight. There's Marois, another one of them. He's been solid. Gets the puck as far as Iafrate. He gives it to DeGray. Drives a high one. Rebound was there just for a split second. And it's cleared out of the zone by McBain and down the ice. 8 seconds left in the penalty.
Berthiaume looked like he was going to go for a rush there. He was about 30 feet out of the net on that DeGray chance.
Now Waters is out of the penalty box with 3:10 left to play in the 3rd period. A lot of the fans have left Maple Leaf Gardens. This one over a long time ago. 10-1 now, less than 3 minutes to play. And here's Olczyk coming to center. Shoots it in wide of the net. Comes to the side of the goal. Salming moving up. And Wilson digs it out to center ice. Going in there for Winnipeg. Wilson in around Yaremchuk. Yaremchuk stopped the pass. Then Carlisle lifts a high one off the shoulder of Reagan. 2:30 left. Salming bumping with Wilson in there. The letter went down. Here's Carlisle moving up. Shoots it in front. It went by 3 players in front of the net. Nobody could touch it. Wilson on it again. Richardson bumped him. Olczyk standing there. And poked at it. Reagan down. Smale picked up a loose puck and nearly put her home. Now, let's go to Ron McLean for a Hockey Night in Canada update.
Bob, the Calgary Flames are starting to put some distance again between themselves and the Edmonton Oilers. Up 5-3 in the 3rd. Mike Bullard launches this shot through Steve Smith and Grant Fuhr, and it's now 6-3 Calgary.
No problem for the Flames tonight. Certainly no problem here for the Winnipeg Jets. I don't know if they expected this much success coming in here tonight, because talking with John Ferguson this morning, he was saying this Leaf team you can never take for granted.
They had a poor road trip losing those 2 games last week, and they went home for the 2 wins, but they were apprehensive, you're right, this morning, whether they could come up with a solid game.
Boy, they sure have. On the other hand, the Leafs have been on a low ebb again this evening. Down 10-1 with less than 2 minutes to play. And as Gill goes back to the net, takes a look. There are the forecheckers coming at him again. Neufeld, Semenko. Rink wide pass right onto Lance's stick. Lance moving up and stopped by Carlisle, another workhorse tonight on the defense for Winnipeg. Headmans the puck well. Gets it up to Rooney. Rooney comes down, circled at the line, and gave it away to Lance. He got it out in a check to Semenko. That doesn't work. Neufeld back in there. Gets away from Gill easily. Played it to Rooney. Takes a shot that's deflected wide of the net. Into the corner. That's Iafrate trying to take it away from Boschman. Iafrate falls on the puck, and they get a whistle. So no further play there. A face-off coming up in the Toronto zone.
Only from Dodge. 2 trucks for the price of 1. Compact plus full size. It's the mid-size Dodge Dakota. The fuel economy and sporty handling of a compact. The comfort, cargo space, and pulling power of a full size. 2 trucks in 1, plus 7 115 warranty protection. Mid-size Dakota from the Dodge family of Ram Tough trucks.
When the going gets tough, the tough get going tough.
The Edmonton Oilers rebound against the Flames. Charlie Huddy from the top of the circle scores his 11th on the season. It's now 6-4, 7 minutes to play in the third.
And it's winding down there. And here, for sure, it's winding down. Listen to this cheer. A minute left. You knew that was coming, Scotty, didn't you?
Yes, and I think we've seen a team, though, that's a legitimate contender. This Winnipeg Jet team, very impressive tonight.
Yes. Here's a loose puck in front of the net, but very quickly it is not a loose puck and knocked away. 40 seconds left. Iafrate can't move very far. Damphou stopped. Jets shoot at the center. Richardson ahead. Fergus to Damphou. And it goes. Lehman fanned on it. Ellett takes over. Ellett rolled it along the boards and now has to go behind the net to Marois. 20 seconds left. Up the center, that's Salming playing it ahead to Fergus. He goes in, shoots. Weak shot, but Damphou on it. Marois played it away. It's out into the center ice zone. And that's just about it as the Gray ripped a high one. Game over. Shots in the period. Winnipeg 17. Toronto 6. Totals 50-18. 10-1 Winnipeg, and in just a moment, our Molson Cup 3-star selection.
You're the backbone of the country. Cities, towns, and fields.
Stumped again, eh, sir?
You're the ones who work, the ones who build a strength that never yields. Nothing halfway about it. That's always been your call. It says it all.
There you go. Thank you. No trouble.
You know, Esso is giving our people special training to give you no-trouble service. And maybe
Thanks for stopping by.
that's why we're getting a lot of customers we haven't seen before.
The Molson Cup 3 stars in tonight's game. The first star from the Winnipeg Jets, Dale Howardchuk. The second from the Jets, Paul McLean. And the third from the Jets, Frederick Olesen. Winnipeg dominates the hockey game. The final score, 10-1. The Jets over the Leafs. They win the season series 3-2, as you might expect. In a game they dominate, they sweep the Molson Cup 3-star balloting, and that point now moves them 2 points, rather, moves them to with 71. well within range of the Flames and the Oilers, only in so much as they can look forward to playing one or the other in the first round of the Stanley Cup playoffs. The 10 goals for the Jets is too shy of their team record for goals in one game. They've scored 12 on home ice in one victory and 12 on the road in a victory, but 10-1 is a shellacking of the Maple Leafs that perhaps they didn't expect. In 3 appearances here over the last 2 years, Winnipeg has really struggled, and as you might expect, the fellow to lead them tonight is the one who generally does. Dale Hawerchuk, the captain of the team, had 103 points going into this game. He had a 6-point evening tonight, 2 goals and 4 assists. Hawerchuk playing this evening in his 66th game, and he has been quite a story for the Jets since joining the club 7 years ago. He's only missed 1 game. It was back in 1982-83. Hawerchuk took a shot in the skate in a morning practice, and John Ferguson thought his star ought to take a night off. Had he not done so, Hawerchuk would have never missed a regular season game. So the Jets win handily here. Now let's go to the Olympic Saddledome in Calgary.
We'd like to welcome viewers of the Winnipeg-Toronto game. This is the Battle of Alberta. Chris Cuthbert, Harry Neal, Steve Armitage at the Olympic Saddledome, where a relatively tame Oiler-Flames game has erupted here in the 3rd period. Glenn Sather's team trailing 6-4 with 6:14 left. McClelland and Roberts headed to the dressing room for the rest of the night, and they were the secondary fight.
They were the thirdary fight. This whole thing was started by this fellow and Keith Acton in a bantamweight match. There's Acton. He's still yelling, but he's not coming out of the box. Then we had a real doozer between Churla and Steve Smith. They're gone. And then the last outbreak, McClelland, as you saw when you joined us, they're out of the game.
And we should mention, Harry, that when Gary Roberts was escorted to the bench, he appeared to push linesman Jim Christensen. So we will see if there is any further penalty against Roberts for that.
He might get a double game misconduct, one for fighting after the original fight started and one for pushing Christensen. And then he's got to start worrying about 3-game misconduct and a suspension that comes automatically. And this rivalry was tame most of the night. But in the last 5 minutes, the complexion of the game has changed. Calgary is still winning 6-4. They were up 4-1. Edmonton tied them. They were up 6-3. Edmonton just scored Charlie Huddy not long ago to make it 6-4. And there's Judge Wapner handing out the sentences.
For our Ontario and Manitoba viewers, this is the final meeting of the regular season between these 2 teams. The series tied at 3 apiece with 1 game tied. The Flames leading the Oilers by 1 point, and the Flames have a game in hand. So it is a pivotal game for the Oilers if they entertain any thoughts of finishing first in the Smythe division.
Well, on the scoreboard, long before the penalties have been announced, I see that the Flames look like they got the extra 2. So perhaps, in the opinion of this fella, Bob Myers, Churla started the 1 fight and will get the extra 2 minutes.
And
we'll have to wait for the announcements.
That could be a big plus for the Oilers. 6 goals tonight have been scored on the power play, and the Oilers' last goal was scored as the Calgary penalty expired.
To Edmonton, number 5, Steve Smith, 5 minutes for fighting and a game misconduct. Number 23, Keith Acton, 2 minutes for roughing, 5 for fighting. Number 24, Kevin McClelland, 5 for fighting and a game misconduct. To the Flames, number 15, Shane Churla, 5 minutes for fighting, 2 for slashing and a game misconduct. Number 9, Lanny McDonald, 2 minutes for roughing, 5 for fighting. Number 10, Gary Roberts, 5 minutes for fighting and a game misconduct. Time of the penalties, 13:46.
The Calgary Flames drew the extra 2 minutes. And that was Churla's slashing penalty, so with 6:14 to go, the Oilers down 6-4 in 2 minutes to cut the lead from 2 to 1.
Joey Mullen will serve the penalty. And the Oilers go on the power play with Gretzky, Simpson, Anderson, Lowe, and Messier. And it's Craig Simpson who has a pair of goals tonight ahead to Gretzky with 3 assists. Into the zone it goes. Anderson first to the puck. He had 4 goals last night. And now the puck slid by Gretzky and out to center. Shots on goal, 31-23 in favor of Calgary. inside the line. Gretzky couldn't control it, and Nieuwendyk, who has had a strong game again for the Flames, clears it to Lube and down into the Oilers zone. Kevin Lowe being watched by Lube. Charlie Huddy now comes out onto the ice. Lowe to Anderson. His pass goes to McCrimmon, and he slams it down into the Oilers zone.
And the Oilers have not been able to get over the Flame blue line and with control of the puck. This is the third icing in the first minute of this power play.
50 seconds left in the man advantage. Jim Christensen went down at the blue line, and now Esa Tikkanen turns. Rigged wide. Gretzky takes it. Huddy trails him. Gretzky gives off to Huddy. There's the shot. That one went wide. Huddy has the fourth Oiler goal, and now Joel Otto sends it down the ice. 27 seconds left in the manpower advantage for the Oilers. Curry to Tikkanen. Stopped there by McInnes. Gregg across ice to Charlie Huddy. Working against Brian Glynn, who has them all tied up. And McInnes around the glass and down the ice. 4 minutes, 20 seconds left in the third period. The Flames lead by 2. And the Calgary crowd giving their team a rousing ovation for their job of penalty killing here. Here's Craig McTavish. Behind the goal, Mike Krushelnyski gives chase against John Tonelli. McSorley's there. He gets it to McTavish. Looking to center it. McTavish knocked off the puck. Kept in by Muni. There's a shot deflected just wide. Bullard backhands it, kept in by Lowe. And now it comes out, and the Flames are at full strength with a 2-on-1. Tonelli deflected off a stick and up over the glass, out of play.
6-4, the Calgary Flames are leading. They'll go to a commercial break in Calgary, so that gives us an opportunity to review the scoring summary of the game at Maple Leaf Gardens. Winnipeg wins it by a score of 10-1. Howardchuk opened it 9 seconds in. Fergus got Toronto's only goal moments later. McBain, Rooney, and McLean rounded out the first period scoring. In the second, Smale and McLean with 2 more to give him the hat trick on the evening. And in the third period, the Jets scored heavy again. Kumpel, Howardchuk, and Boschman, 10-0 the final, and the shots on goal 50-18 in favor of the Winnipeg Jets, who win their 3rd in a row. For Toronto, the loss was their 4th consecutive. Now let's return you to the Oilers and the Flames. On the Hockey Night in Canada scoreboard, Fedorko has scored for the Blues. It is now tied at 4, Blues and Red Wings.
Here it's a 2-goal Calgary lead. Harry, a stat that surprised me is that the Oilers have only come back 4 times this year in the third period to win games. Here's Hunter with the drive, and Fuhr just got a piece of it. They're trying to make it 5 tonight, but their work's cut out for them.
That used to be a bit of a patent for the Oilers. Get behind and come back with a flurry of goals sometime during the game and snatch a victory right out of the jaws of defeat.
Here's Joel Otto leaving for Hunter. He took a hit from Lowe, and Lowe's stick ended up knocking down one of his teammates. Kevin Lowe got the stick up as he went to hit Tim Hunter, and unfortunately the recipient was Jeff Bukaboom, his defensive partner.
Well, let's have a look at it and see exactly how this happened. Kevin Lowe, who's thrown some good checks tonight, gets a hold of Hunter, but you can see his stick goes right over Joel Otto and hits his buddy, Jeff Bukaboom, right in the face.
It's a good thing these teams only meet each other 8 times during the regular season. They've been going down with regularity tonight.
Well, Glenn Sather, I think, realizes that the Oilers are going to have their work cut out for themselves in finishing ahead of the Flames in regular season play, and it is going to be a grueling playoff should they both meet in the second round, which is highly likely. Jeff Bukaboom, a tough guy. Let's see what caused him to fall down. Oh, and a stick across the face. He does it. He doesn't appear to be cut. Well, he's cut a little bit there, but he's a little groggy. Now, he played for Terry Crisp. He played junior hockey in Sault Ste. Marie and is very complimentary about Crisp as a coach.
Bookavoom continuing to receive attention at the Oiler bench from Peter Miller. 3 minutes, 4 seconds to play. It's 6-4 Calgary. McCrimmon off the boards and out to center ice. Team playing at full strength. Otto, Hunter, and Patterson for the Flames. Anderson, Simpson, and Messier have been reunited for the Oilers. Oilers need goals now. This line started tonight with McSorley on the wing, but here comes Messier. Out in front and Lowe shot wide. And Lowe takes Suter down behind the net. What a good setup for Kevin Lowe.
Well, everybody thought Messier was going to cut back into the middle, and he just kept going wide. Lowe came off the point. Nice pass from Messier, but Lowe missed the net.
Here's Gretzky with Huddy. On the backhand, it rolls weak and wide. Al McInnes flips it down the ice. Icing is waved off. Tikkanen deflects it into the center ice zone, and Blue sends it back in. Under 2 minutes to play as Gretzky breaks down the ice with Tikkanen. 2-on-2. They crisscross. Tikkanen right on, and Vernon's there. Randy Gregg shoots, and that one was off the target. Charlie Huddy high and into the crowd.
While the puck was rolling as it came back to Huddy, he tried just to get the shot on the net. But it went over the glass and out of play. And Mike Vernon is 1 minute, 41 seconds away from his 32nd win of this season, which will set a franchise record. And one of the finer goalies in the league. Here's Bookavoom trying to ice down his eyes so it won't be completely shut tomorrow.
Of course, we'll have the Molson Cup 3 stars at the end of the night. And it's been a tough night for the relations on either side. Bookavoom is a first cousin of Joe Nieuwenberg, who was shaken up earlier in this third period. From the draw, the Oilers get control. They need a goal now so they can get Pure out of the net. Try to get that equalizer. Joey Mullen tries to knock it loose. Bullard out ahead for Tonelli, and Randy Gregg will win that race. Mike Krushelnyski has McSorley open. Here's Marty McSorley. Dave Hannon catching up on the play. Hannon in the corner. Being watched by Merson. Tonelli helps out. Here come the Flames. Mike Bullard. He'll have to be considered as a star. That shot is high. Bullard with a pair of goals, including his 40th tonight. Craig Simpson has 2 for the Oilers. Under a minute to go. Craig ahead to Simpson. He leaves it for Anderson. Grant Pure has left the net. The Oilers have an extra attacker on. Gretzky keeps it in. Lou behind the goal. Lost it to Simpson. Anderson. Gretzky is there. But Lou gets it around the boards. And it goes to the blue line and out. Shot down the ice just wide by Joel Otto. And icing is the call with 24 seconds left.
And you might think icing is a bad play when the other team's got their goalie out. But when you are 2 goals up, it isn't a bad play at all. And Anderson got clipped in the face by a high stick from Merson. And Anderson sucked Merson into taking the penalty. Now with 25 seconds to go, 24 seconds, I don't think it's going to make much difference. But remember, it was icing, and the faceoff is deep in the Calgary zone.
Calgary Flames leading 6-4 with less than 30 seconds to go in that game. We'll keep an eye, of course, on it. 10-1, the Winnipeg Jets win at Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto tonight. Flames are first overall in the NHL, Oilers second, and the Jets are third in their division. We'll be back in a moment.
Did we say shrimp? Just checking.
We know how you love shrimp.
Shrimp Festival, only at Red Lobster, for the seafood lover in you.
Sun ain't up when I start. I'm working hard, but I'm working smart. I got me 100 to get around. I got power. A 4-track, 4x4 to cover ground. And I'm a 4-wheeling, good feeling Honda 4-tracks man. A 4-wheeling, hard-working man. Yes, indeed.
Out of school, out of work, under 25 and want to work, and every door seems closed to you? Futures can open those doors. With help to get a job and pay you for up to 52 weeks of on-the-job training. Call Futures. 1-800-387-0777. If you commit to your future, Ontario will commit to you.
If you're looking to save money, really save money on a wood stove, there's only one place, Mason Place, one of Ontario's largest wood stove and fireplace shops. Mason Place year-end clearance sale is on now until Saturday, March 26th. All in-store stock must be cleared, so prices have been slashed on all major wood stoves like Heritage, Elmira, Yotel, Napoleon, and Synergy. Hurry in while selection is good. Mason Place year-end clearance sale. If you're looking to save money, the place, Mason Place, located 3 miles north of Keswick on Woodbine Avenue.
Gardens in Toronto, the Winnipeg Jets win at 10-1. That's the good news. As I say, the bad is they play in a division that features the Edmonton Oilers and the Calgary Flames, and the Flames appear to win the Battle of Alberta tonight. It's 7-4. They've added an empty netter late.
The difference in the two games is, you know, when I talk out there, I'm talking about professional hockey. I'm not talking about minor hockey, junior hockey. I'm talking about where guys get $300,000 a year. The difference in that game and this game is those guys out there hit the hurt. You saw it out there, some of you. When they hit a guy, they're not talking about maiming him or anything like that. They're talking about hit him when the guy hesitates in front of the net. Bawango, Mooney creams the guy in front. That's the difference, the intensity of the two teams. And they don't fool around in that division when they're out there, and that's why they're the two best teams in the league right now.
The most remarkable thing about the Toronto Maple Leafs is that if there's one thing John Brophy you would think would be a proponent of, it's a tough game. He asked Jerry McNamara when he was GM to go out and get some tougher players. The Leafs are 4-7-1 since they fired the GM. They just don't seem to be able to respond to the coach's desire.
It's easy to say, why don't they play tough? But if they don't have the tough guys, you can't play tough with some of the guys they got. Damphus, Fergus, Courtnall, guys like that, they're not going to go out there and bang around. They've got to have a little respect. For a team to let roll over and play dead the way they did tonight is a disgrace.
They fall by 9 goals. It's their worst defeat of the season, 10-1. Winnipeg wins it. Stay tuned for more on Hockey Night in Canada.
Priority Post, Canada's largest and most competitive courier network, has joined forces with EMS, the world's most extensive courier network. The U.S., Europe, and beyond. It's all the same network. It's all the same consistent, proven reliability. Whether you ship inside Canada or out. Priority Post, EMS, Canada's world-class courier.
Chasing rainbows. The chase begins tomorrow.
In Budapest, Canada's top pairs go for medals. But can anyone steal Soviet gold? In the ice days, Wilson and McCall try to break through. Elizabeth Manley challenges Vinton Thomas again. And in their final showdown, the Battle of the Bryans, the World Figure Skating Championships, March 23rd. Brought to you in part by Dristan Towels.
Another busy Saturday around the NHL. Let's bring you up to date. Late in the third period, they have just seconds to go now. Calgary leading 7-4. The Flames will win at the Saddle Dome. Brad McCrimmon got the empty net goal. Minnesota and Chicago tied at 2. That's now late in the third period in Bloomington. St. Louis, Detroit is tied 4-4. That's in the third period. The Hartford Whalers defeat the New York Rangers. The Rangers, after having won 4 in a row, lose for the second time in as many nights. The Whalers, an important victory in their battle for 4th in the Adams division. Pittsburgh won this afternoon, 8-3 over the New York Islanders. Lemieux had 3 assists. Gretzky has 3 for the Oilers tonight in the scoring race challenge. And Boston lost in overtime to New Jersey 7-6. Montreal is a late start in LA. It's tied at 1. 3 games next week on Hockey Night in Canada. We hope you can join us for those. Thanks for watching tonight, and good night.
Live on CBC, Hockey Night in Canada. Brought to you by Bolton. Nothing happens without it. X says it all. By Esso, suppliers of Esso No Trouble gasoline for winter. And by Ford of Canada, where quality is more than a commitment. Quality is job one. Hockey Night in Canada is a CBC Sports presentation, produced in association with Mole Star Communications. The World Figure Skating Championships, March 23rd.